Record audio?
Yeah, well.
This is what the people really want, Charlie. It's all very well us playing around in the woods. It reminds me of the time I had a rabbit vibrator and shaped like a parsnip with a golf ball taped to the end. People love a good book library tour, and I haven't done one in a couple of years, maybe. So not since I've moved anyway. So I feel like I need to set the scene and tell you the rules of this library, because there are rules. We moved in here about 18 months ago, so just before Christmas, last Christmas gone, Christmas and a half ago. And my old library at the old house, which was featured on about 500 videos. You recording?
Recording, yeah.
You recording?
We're recording.
Had about 800 books on display, plus another few hundred in the loft. And the method of collecting then was just get everything I can get my hands on and display it and have multiple copies of everything. I thought one day I would live in a massive house and I would have a huge library and just keep collecting books. That's obviously not practical. Even if I did win the lottery, I don't think I'd want to do that. So when I moved, everything shrunk. Shrank? Shrunk. Everything shrunk. And it's improved my collecting happiness space thing completely, because now I'm not obsessed with having a copy of everything. This is a refined collection. Recording?
Yeah.
Right, this is technically not part of the library because it's not in a library. It's the paperback collection and a few odds and sods that I've got under the stairs. I need to get to them first. Stick these in here. Right, nearly there. We'll stick it on the table. All right, so this is the Carpet Makers, or also known as the Hair Carpet Weavers, by Andreas Eschbach, which was on my bedside table. So that got missed from the other footage of whatever. I don't know if you should look in, or you should angle it so that you can't see.
Go over here.
As a surprise. Ready? Okay. It's not a science fiction collection anymore. It's everything, because I've always been a big reader of every genre. So it's science fiction, a little bit of fantasy, classics, and everything jumbled up together, and they're not separated. The only separation is authors are clumped together most of the time. All the folios are together. There was a period a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, where all the folios fitted perfectly on here, but that's no longer the case because they've now crept over here. We'll get to them later. Relax. Go back. So I'll go through the books. Yes, some have dust jackets on and some don't. I've also got over that weird thing where I got rid of all the dust jackets. Now I judge books by how they look. Sometimes the dust jacket looks better on, and sometimes the books look better naked. So it's all jumbled up, and I think it looks better for it. Now, the big thing is, in the old collection, as an example, I had all the culture novels, all the E&M Banks science fiction stuff, and it would take up that much of my library. Same goes for Alistair Reynolds. I had everything. Peter F. Hamilton, whatever. Sorry, there's a bit of fluff from the... Is it on my face?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, so now what I've done is, for example, Banks, I'm happy to just have the folio. That's probably a bad example. Alistair Reynolds is a better example. All I've got left in the collection is the posh kind of example of that author. So I've got this really nice Subterranean Press of Redemption Arc, and I've got this really rare Diamond Dogs. And for most other authors, I'm happy to just have their most famous book or one thing. I do break that rule over and over again, but I'll explain as we go. Margot, go and sit down. Go on, go and sit on there where you're not going to be in it. Good girl. She won't stay there for long. And that's kind of the tale of the whole library. I don't want great big bulky sets, but what I do want is, ideally, I would like a copy of every important book to me and every important book out there. I know that's impossible, but I want one of each of the classics and books that are important to me. And it just slows everything down. When I go book hunting now, I sometimes come back with nothing. Although we went to Hay on Wye the other day, and I got 4 or 5, but you can see they're all essential. And this is a 1 in and 1 out system now. So I do have a few more under the stairs because we're using this as a studio today. This isn't how the front room usually looks. Eventually, we're gonna have like built-in bookcases either side of the fireplace, and it'll give me a bit more room. But I don't mind it staying this size. I like it. It's a refined collection. So I've got a bad back. I might be making noises when I bend down to pick these other ones up down there. I'll be fine. This is my hardcover library. There's no paperbacks here at all. That will be a separate library, which I haven't even built yet. And I've got a couple of 100 paperbacks, but all of these are hardbacks and very special to me. These are all paperbacks, most of them vintage. No, they're not all paperbacks. There's a few hardcovers just that I can't really bear to get rid of, but maybe I will one day. If anyone's still watching, follow me. And because it's one of these with a little tuck around the corner, I may have to pull some out and get to them. Right, so from the beginning, this is The Martian from Andy Weir. This is actually a proper... I'll be mentioning first edition and first printing and all of that quite a bit during this video. This is the original hardcover run, and I was there on the ground floor just as he was taking off. So I think that's worth quite a bit. This is the big book for boys. I don't remember, I've had this for a long time. I think I got it at a car boot sale. There's quite a few of these knocking around. I'm not even sure.
What even is it?
This is a book. This was well, it's exactly what it says on the cover. Teenagers would be very interested in this back in the 1930s. That's a good guess. To Roy, with love from Uncle Ian, something Auntie May, Christmas 1930.
Wow.
It looks good on the shelf. I'll probably be mentioning Chalmers' name quite a bit as well. This is the Secret History of Twin Peaks. This does have a little sleeve that comes with it, but I keep that in a box. Chalmers sent me this a couple of Christmases ago. This is obviously, if you're really into Twin Peaks, this has got all sort of hidden mystery and extra information tucked away in there.
It's like one of those ergodic books as well, like it's within the...
Is this ergodic? Is this ergodic? I forgot what ergodic means. Well, it's not real. It's fictional note-taking photographs, document. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's probably an ergodic book. Well spotted, Charlie. My friend Pev sent me, again, this has a lovely cover on it, but I think it looks even better without. This is Subterranean Press's relatively new short story collection, John Wyndham, Logical Fantasy. Now here we go. I had about 30 John Wyndham books in hardback and paperback. I shrunk that collection down to just this. This is the John Wyndham Omnibus. So the way that the collecting goes now, even if I see that Folio 3, the one that you've got, the 3 books. Yeah. In fact, we did see it, and I said, you know what? I'm quite happy with this. This is just a book club hardcover called the John Wyndham Omnibus, and all you get is Day of the Triffids, the Kraken Wakes, and the Chrysalids. It cost me like £3 somewhere, and that's good enough for me. But then, breaking the rule, Pev did send me that, and I'm thinking, well, that deserves a place on the shelf. Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne.
Where'd you get that one?
I can't remember. I've had that for a very long time. Another rule, there's lots of rules. Another rule is if I want a book, I can't just go on eBay and buy it. Anyone can do that. I have to find them out in the wild. And I do have like a hit list. There's ones that I really want. I'll go through them later. But if I never find them, fine. Okay, I'm happy never ever finding them out in the wild for a decent price. I'm not going on eBay and just collecting. It's all about the hunt. I found this at Shrewsbury Market because I wanted Beatrix Potter represented in this library. and she had the whole set for sale, and I just wanted the Tale of Squirrel Nutkin, because it's a squirrel, and squirrels are important to this cult. There you go. Here's a cheat. We should keep account of how many times I break my own rules. I did just get this off eBay because it's the King in Yellow. We were making a video about it, and I don't think I was ever going to find some contradicting what I just said. So this is the newer printing hardcover. Again, it has a nice cover. It looks better without. James Blish, the Quinn Kunks of Time. I believe that is one of the. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember. It's part of a series. Cities in Flight, maybe, and I think there's 4 of them. I might be wrong. There is Orson Scott Card, Songmaster. I have no idea if this is a first paperback edition or whatever. I believe Sai sent me that because it was one of her, if not her favourite ever book, and I hadn't read it before, and I am a big fan of Ender's Game. So I read it last year, I think, and I really enjoyed it, even though it's a little bit pedo. There is a first edition hardcover of House of Suns without the dust jacket. It's really hard to get rid of stuff that Alistair Reynolds has personally signed on camera. I've got a few of them, but see how we go. Pick this up in Hay. I don't know why I've still got this. This is the paperback, oversized. I don't know anything about the format, what size that is, but that is M. John Harrison's Light. I never read it. Did you read it during the read-along?
No.
Shit. I hate that, but I can't read everything. This is, so, you know, you've got the SF Masterworks, and they've got the yellow covers, and they've been for a few different iterations. I believe this is the classic SF run. I don't think it's in place of those ones with the black spines, the Masterworks, but this is what they've done before that, I believe. So there's a whole series of these. This is number 4, Samuel Delaney's Nova. Pole and Kornbluth, Search the Sky. I mainly keep these because they've just got amazing artwork, and people used to send me these all the time. You are picking these up, yeah? Ron Goulart, Nemo. I think Matt from Bookpilled sent me this with a little note. Did he write in it? Maybe he emailed me and sent it to me. He just knows I like this kind of thing for a collection, and he saw it and thought of me. Thank you, Matt. Rolling?
Rolling.
Okay, what I've done, this is like a special part of the video. What I've done is gone forward in time and space, or forward in time but elsewhere in space, to that corner of the library, that big gap over there, and I've dragged that part of the collection back to now, which is earlier in the video, so you don't have to wait about 3 hours to get to that bit, because I wanted this bit nearer the beginning of the video, so a bit more up front, because it does have a special promo code. Yes, we have a sponsor for this video, but don't switch off, because it's not just an advert and I'm not trying to sell you anything, even though you can take advantage of the code, MDC at checkout at beehivebooks.com. But it's also part of the library as well, so you don't lose anything by having the code up on the screen. But I think for legal reasons, I have to say that this is a sponsored part of the video.
That's correct. Yeah.
Even though it's kind of not, I would have the books anyway, but it still is legally. Whatever, I think we've covered our ass. About 18 months ago, Charlie and I made a video about a relatively obscure book called A Voyage to Arcturus by David Lindsay? Robert Lindsay. No, Robert Lindsay's the actor. David Lindsay, I believe. We can check. And for some reason, the book's right there. For some reason, that video got about 150,000 views, so much more than we ever expected. And a guy called Josh, who is the owner of Beehive Books, reached out to me and said, Moyd, your video has meant that loads of people have bought our special Beehive Books edition of A Voyage to Arcturus. Can I please send you a free copy of it to say thank you? And I said, of course you can. That's great. Everyone's a winner. This is that book. This is, and when I'd done the research on A Voyage to Arcturus, I had seen these pop up on the graphics on a Google search, but I didn't realise they were this big and this magnificent. This isn't because I'm trying to sell you the 10% code MDC at checkout at BEEHIVEbooks.com. I don't have to. Look how amazing this is. This is their part of their illuminated edition. They've got an illuminated range, which all have the big, I think they all have the big hole in the box, like a folio, but like twice as big and stronger and better. Did I say they're better than folio?
I think you did.
Anyway, this is their Voyage to Arcturus, okay?
Pretty, isn't it?
And it's all, every single one of them has original artwork. And this one has gone for this kind of stencil looking thing. Lovely, lovely paper. Extra stuff all over the pages. Extra stuff all over the pages, you know what I mean? So there's a Voyage to Arcturus, that kind of thing. Let's move on. If you want a copy of this, look, and on the back there's the observatory that they go to. You can get 10% off at BEEHIVEbooks.com. Use MDC at checkout. Have I said it 3 times now? Right. He also sent me, and this is without asking, rather than send me one beautiful book, he also sent me The Willows. Should that have gone that way up? Anyway, same thing, same strength. So they all fit in the same set, the illuminated version. We may as well do this right, okay? So this is The Willows, and there's some other ghost stories in here as well. If you know the story of The Willows, look at that.
That's nice.
Really, really lovely. Part 2, that kind of thing. All right? I won't put them all back in the box because we'll be here all day. He also sent me, and I did make a video about The Willows because I read it because he sent me it. I didn't make the video. There was no obligation to make more videos. I've done the same with The Blazing World. This is that multiverse story that's about 600 years old by Margaret Cavendish.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
And this is all, and I actually reached out to the artist who done all the original artwork for this, which is absolutely incredible. Rebecca Dunlap, because I wanted to use the artwork in the video, and I put a little promotion thing in there for her as well, where to go and find our artwork. She was very, look at that, all the chapter headings have got artwork in them, this kind of thing. So completely, a little bit like Folio, they completely commit to one artist and they do the whole package. Yeah?
Yeah, that's good.
Amazing stuff.
Makes me want to read it.
That's The Blazing World. And then maybe the prettiest out of the 4 that Josh originally sent me, this is Quaidon Collection, which I didn't know anything about. Does that say Quaidon? And I believe these are Chinese ghost stories. Again, look at the gold leaf on that.
That's cool.
And the hand.
Yeah.
And then you pop that open.
That's creepy.
I do apologise if it's not Chinese ghost stories because, oh man. And there you go. Really, really, really nice. Oh yeah, you get extra. And I believe on the website, a lot of these books, these are just the illuminated. This is their base level book, okay? And they're cheaper than folios. You can get numbered editions and ones with gatefold boxes. There's a Dracula coming up, which comes in like this jewelry box. I think it's all made out of wood. Absolutely incredible. Get in there. Yeah. That is. Hello. Yeah, so I haven't read it yet, I must be honest. But it's very nice to be sent something. Basically, because they're so proud of the work they do, he really wanted to show that off. Okay, so they're the 4 that he originally sent me, and I've kept in touch. And we said we must do a promotional thing one day because it fits with the style of the videos, and I really like their stuff, which does help when you're trying to sell something. So 10% off at checkout. Use the code MDC at BEEHIVEbooks.com, and Josh wanted to send me some more books to show off in this very video. Okay, so this is their latest stuff. They've got a lot more stuff on the website. They do special edition graphic novels. They do really strange, intricate games in boxes, which he sent me one of those as well, like a graphic novel in a box, which I gave to you, Charlie.
Yeah.
They do blankets, and I've got one of those as well, which has got weird snake heads thing on it. And you don't see it in this front room because my wife won't let me. It's all right, I told Josh, my wife will never let me put that in the front room. When I get my own office, I'll do that as well. 10% off anything. Use the code MDC at beehivebooks.com. Right, so he said, which books do you want me to send? And I felt a bit like, I don't need any free books, Josh. But we do a lot of science fiction on this channel. So maybe The Island of Dr. Moreau. Yes, please. Similar thing. Got the whole, this is from the illuminated edition as well. And there you go. Yeah, I mean, look, we've come this far. Let's have a little look at have I looked at this? Some of them have bookmarks in them as well.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Oh. Oh, nice. I haven't looked at this one yet. Let's just throw those in for good measure.
I love those. The beginning of the chapter is always got that. Yeah, look at that. Love
That?
Yeah, I really love that. I don't know what it is about it. It's just,
You know what you mean? Well, and every chapter heading has a, they do take a lot of care. They really go for it, don't they? Yeah. So there you go. Let's find another. There you go. Okay, Island of Dr. Moreau. So then I got to pick a couple more that I really wanted, and I've been looking for a copy of Dante's Inferno. And I didn't even know they'd done this. I was like, oh yeah, I think I'll have that one. Dante's Inferno, Beehive Books, illuminated edition. All of that is bumpy as well. Yeah, that's raised. That's not just printed on. That is actual texture. Oh, this might be my favourite. This looks. I mean, it looks great on the website, but so this one comes with a special.
little bookmark.
I'll keep that out because I'll never remember that that's in there, and I do use bookmarks. Yeah, look at it. I love that. So again, all the chapter headings have stuff all over them, like this, and all the artwork is like that. There's quite a few of those. That. I think every page has something. Oh, yeah. The Gates of Hell.
Gates of Hell. That's what's on the front cover as well. That same thing.
Oh yeah. Well spotted, Charlie.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is every. Hello. Let's just flick forward and find one more. Damn. Look at that. There you go. Dante's Inferno. And then, now this does contradict, later in the video, you're going to see me show a copy of this book, a different copy, and say, that one's fine. That can stay on the shelf forever, right? Nothing's going to get rid of that, except if you have this version of The Great Gatsby. Can we get the light flicking off that?
That's it.
Again, that's all raised. That's not printed on there. That is all over it. That is all textured. I guess Art Deco. Hang on.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I was going to pull it out of the sleeve again, but can't be asked. Oh, there's something else in this one as well. Okay.
Oh, sparkles.
Jesus. There he is. Leonardo DiCaprio. So you kind of know what to expect from these now. Every page Every chapter heading has something. Then you've got this beautiful artwork. I love that. Oh, that is very, very cool. Yeah, I'm glad I picked this one. That's magnificent. Like I say, I know it's kind of a sponsored slot, but I don't really have to sell these, do I? I get a little kickback as well. Obviously, you know, you get 10% off and I get a few quid for each one sold. Everyone's a winner. And then Josh said, okay, you've picked the ones you want. I insist on sending you this one. This is his favourite. So the owner of BEEHIVE Books said this is his favourite. And I wouldn't have picked it because I don't know why. I preferred the other ones. But now that I've got this one, this is the last one. Now that I've got this one in my hand, this is the best one. I agree, Josh. This is the best one you've ever made. This is Pinocchio. All right. Yet again, that's all bumpy. That's all raised. Yet again, cheaper than a folio, may I?
Look at that.
Right. I didn't realise Pinocchio was so big. That is a chunky old book. You may recognise the artist. That is Mike Mignola. Is that how you say his name?
I think so.
The guy,
Hellboy, right?
Yeah, the Hellboy writer, inventor, artist. Yeah, you can see it now, can't you?
Yeah.
Right. So he has done all, and this isn't old stuff. This is all new Mike Mignola artwork. He's done the artwork all the way through the book. Right? Obviously. Right. So even the little bits in there, and then the full pages.
Full pages, yeah.
And I'm sure even the chapter headings, all of the bits. Let's find another. Let's find another biggie. Oh, that's from the cover.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a couple of doubles in here as well. That's from the back. There you go.
Okay, look at that.
Also, then you get a print as well, and maybe the coolest bookmark. Look at the texture on that as well. Maybe the coolest bookmark I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah,
Mike Mignola. Right. Also, they got Lemony Snicket to do the foreword. Okay. Now, Lemony Snicket, played by Jim Carrey in the films, is a sort of a dark children's author. I didn't really, when Josh was explaining it to me, I'm like, I guess it is a real person that exists under the pseudonym of Lemony Snicket, who I can't remember the guy's actual name, but he's writing this as Lemony Snicket. So he does, he's done all the foreword here, right? Lemony Snicket. And also, which qualifies this as an ergodic book experience, Lemony Snicket, as he's reading this actual Pinocchio book, he's typing up his kind of appraisals of it as he goes. This is all included in the basic version of the BEEHIVE book as well, right? And then as you go, look, there's more and more of these notes by Lemony Snicket, right? And I don't want to spoil it. I haven't read it, but this basically creates a secondary story within the pages of Pinocchio. So it's Lemony Snicket's. He starts going a little bit mad, and it starts spilling out onto the page, right? So, for example, as you get down here, the writing, because there's like handwritten things on there.
Let's take a look. Oh, yeah.
And the typing, there's another cool picture as well. The typing starts to become more erratic, and things like this, sort of scribbling on it, and then there's like stains on it, and then A little bit later, I did sort of cheat and have a look ahead. It actually spills out onto the book itself. So the two, let me just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Lemony Snicket is sort of leaving his impression on the book as they go. So that's the reason why Josh really wanted me to have this copy, because I think this is the one there. Here you go. It's a bit House of Leaves by the time you get down here. Yeah?
Cool. Very cool.
And I can't wait to... I've never read Pinocchio, and I'm just so glad I've got a copy of it. I don't know, other than like a children's book, I didn't think I'd ever have a hardback, and now I have that. Cheaper than a folio, better than a folio. Look at, if you like this kind of thing, amazing. Go to the website, beehivebooks.com, to get 10% off, and you'll also be helping this channel in a tiny, tiny way. But thank you all for your support, and thank you, Beehive Books, for kind of sponsoring this, but also being part of this library as well. Do you want to get a little stack shot? I mean, some of them are in the boxes and some of them aren't. But that's my Beehive Books collection.
Lovely.
Josh, you can send me more if you want. They've got some really great ones on there. I think they've got War and Peace. No, what else have they got? I don't know. Go and have a look on the website. Greetings from the future. These videos take a lot of time and effort and a little bit of money to make. Money which we don't have. You can watch all of our videos for free on YouTube, or if you would like to support the channel, you can use Buy Me a Coffee, which is an online tipping service. Get yourself a t-shirt or a mug or some socks at the merch store. But best of all, we have a Patreon. You'll gain access to our exclusive Discord, home of the world's greatest read-alongs, the podcast Radio Death Cult, and of course, you can tell your friends and family that you've joined a death cult. Links in the description and on our YouTube homepage. Thank you so much. I have the Library of America Philip K. Dick collection there. A cult member sent them to me a long time ago. I do apologise, I can't remember who it was. Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5. I believe this is the new 50th edition.
Well, look at that.
I think that's the cover. Again, that just looks nicer like that. I've got a couple of these. So these are weird, kind of a vinyl floppy look to them. I think there's a whole set. There's a whole set of these. These are published by Collins.
What are they?
This is the Mill on the Floss by George Eliot.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've also got The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens. And this was actually a prize awarded to Susan Keary, school votary in 1964.
Wow.
And look, it's signed by the principal. Yeah, it's you see these all over the place, and there's a whole set of them. I don't need them all. That will do me fine. Picked this one up in my local bookshop. I didn't have a copy of The Christmas Carol. It's nothing special, but I think he'd give it to me for a couple of quid. So there's that. Here is the American Science Fiction by the Library of America. I think when I was doing the book hauls, people were just, or did I put one on a Christmas list? Can't remember. I certainly didn't get them all at the same time. Library of America, really nice, and really nice without the dust jackets as well. They do like special runs of, you can buy certain authors. So this has The High Crusade. So this is 4 classics, 1960 to 1966. The High Crusade by Paul Anderson. Way Station, Clifford Simak, great book. Flowers for Algernon. And Call Me Conrad. Oh, This Immortal by Roger Zelazny. Jeff Vandermeer. I have hardcover of Born.
I think that's nicer with the dust jacket on, personally.
The dust jacket's white with the rainbowy colours on it. I think I prefer this.
Have you got the one with the teeth or the one with the...
The one with the teeth? No. The one I really want is the one of the painting of the plant, which I think is of Born, right? It's not that one. Otherwise, I'd keep the dust jacket on. It's the one that's not so pretty. And this is really special. This is a special run of Bliss by Jeff Vandermeer. This was sent to me by Matt Yeager, I think. Yeah, pretty sure he did. I'm pretty certain this was from Matt. Yeah, this is very valuable. So this is one of those signed. There's only 750 ever made, and this is number 695. So, got it?
Yeah.
Precious. Haven't read it yet. Thank you, Matt. Another example. Agatha Christie. I want Agatha Christie represented. This is the story of the library. I want these authors represented, and I picked this up in Hay. I only need one Agatha Christie book to say, got it. So this is made by the Crime Club. I think you can get most of them in this kind of look. And this is Death on the Nile. So this is a new printing.
It's nice though.
Yeah, they've got a whole row of them in
Murder and Mayhem.
Murder and Mayhem in Hay on Wye. And I picked this one because it's probably the most famous one, and the Orient Express, of course. But I read this one at school as a group with Chris Peacock, actually, and we had to do the voices. We had to read it, and people had. And Chris was Poirot.
Oh, really?
He was quite good. He'd done the whole fucking. He'd done the whole acting and everything. I've had this one for a long time. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Victor Hugo, of course, and I can't remember where I got it. I've had it for about 20 years, and it never had a dust jacket on. And I really like the font, and I really like the presentation. It's a good stitching and all of that. And it's actually made by Gallery Press. It's the Golden Heritage series. And there's a whole set of these. So I did keep an eye out, and I picked up a few more. You'll see them sprinkled around as we go. Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky. That's actually, I didn't realise that. That's an Everyman. So that is I've got quite a few Everymans. But that's an old Everyman. I've never read it, to my shame. And then tucked in here, not famous, not particularly interesting, but my in-laws got me this for Christmas one year. Oh, he likes books, let's get him a book. And it came like this. This is my favourite type of book. It's printed straight onto the cover. So that's how it came. And it's just a ghost story about mountain climbers. The higher you go, the darker it gets. And I can't get rid of it. Why would I? I just think it looks lovely. Ray Bradbury, Machineries of Joy. Don't know that one. You ever heard of that?
No, never heard of it.
Damon Knight, Beyond the Barrier.
Oh,
There's quite a lot of. Look at the artwork. I can't bear to get rid of this. This is the copy of The Moat in God's Eye that I've had for years. Did I buy this or did somebody send me it? It's Stories of Your Life and Others, which we need to sort of read. So there is the proper Citizen. I say proper. That's all 4 of the Citizen Flight, and this is the very first one of those Gallant's rounded corner ones I had with the landscape writing on the background. That's really cool. Still haven't read it. Most of these in here I haven't read. Robert Silverberg, Hawksbill Station. I think Lucra gave me that for Christmas in person when we met
in London.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
She gave me a little collection of Silverbergs. Agent of Chaos, Norman Spinrad.
Oh, look at that. Is that Pennington?
Yes. Can I say that with confidence? I believe that is a Pennington. If not, it looks like a Pennington.
Does look like a Pennington.
Caldwainer Smith, The Underpeople. One that we're doing on the read-along right at the moment. This is Blood Music by Greg Bear, the full novel. I love that cover. I absolutely love that book. We've got another James Blish, The Night Shapes. Look at that.
Bring it up a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
Black Legion of Callisto by Lynn Carter, Pennington.
That's definitely a Pennington.
Yeah, that's in the book that I used to have. Pennington book. The Still Small Voice of Trumpets by Lloyd Biggle Jr. And yeah, that is like hands that are really people doing ballet and
Weird.
yeah, new wave bullshit. Into the Darkness by A.G.C. Clarke. I used to think this was a very early Arthur C. Clarke, but apparently it's not. That's a different guy. That is That is really old. That was 2 and 6. How much? I'm trying to get a date. Some of these really old stuff don't even have the date. Oh, this is 1961. It's only 65 years old. There is The Haunting of Hill House. That's a relatively new printing with the black sprayed edges, which I'm not that bothered about. I guess it looks kind of cool. I really want the folio, but that will do. It's only like a tenner, and my sister-in-law got me that. 1984, George Orwell. This is the Penguin Classics fabric.
Yeah.
Some of them are really nice. Some of them look fucking terrible, and I wouldn't have them on the shelf. This is one that looks good. I probably got another one somewhere. So that's the one that I think looks all right. I think you were with me when I've been looking for ages for Clockwork Orange. We picked this up in Hay on Wye. The dog. Can you just relax? Go and lay down.
Can't be like that one.
Anyway, this is the banned books series. There's a few. Can't be bothered to read which ones they are. So there's a nice new sort of bigger hardback version of this as well. And I love the book. I read it recently, but that's all good. I've got first edition All Systems Red, which is the first Murderbot book by Martha Wells.
Oh.
So, yeah, I say these things and I don't know if it's true. Is it a first? Well, technically it's a first edition, but it's not the first printing, right? There's a difference. And this is the 6th printing. It's not a first edition. Not at all. It's just a hardcover. Ignore me. Oh, no, I know when they're first edition, and I'm not really that bothered either. I don't really care. I don't care if things are signed or... It doesn't really bother me, but I will point out when they are. This is C.S. Lewis's space trilogy, which nobody ever reads or talks about. Out of the Silent Planet, Palandra, and That Hideous Strength.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's any good. Why don't people talk about it? Here's another one of those gallery press, and that's The Wind in the Willows. Very recent acquisition. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Bill Bryson it's Bill Bryson. And I see his books out all over the place. And we were in me, Charlie, and cult member Lucra. We met up in Hay on Wye. We were having a wander around. And there were a few other Bill Brysons. And I was talking to Charlie and I said, what I want is his first book. And I'll only have it in hardcover. I don't need a first edition. I just want a hardcover. I can't remember what it's called. Postcards from the something. And then the guy who ran the shop just went, it's called Notes from a Small Island. And I have a signed first edition over there on the shelf. I'm like, oh, that's going to be well expensive. It was only 22 quid. Did he do us a deal? And it is signed. It's not a proper first, but it's a hardcover. It's in absolute mint condition, and it's signed, and it's the one I want. I need to check. That is the first book, right? Otherwise, I've wasted my money. I picked this up in Cambridge with Chris Peacock, breaking the rule of having more than one copy of the same book on the shelf, because this is the illustrated Animal Farm.
Ooh,
You've not seen this?
Very nice. No, I haven't. Oh, yeah, look at that.
It's Quentin Blake. It is Quentin Blake, right? Let's check. Like, Ralph Steadman. Who's Quentin Blake? Did you do Roald Dahl?
Yeah.
You've done Low Biff.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's probably the same bloke. Jesus Christ. Lucky I checked. There you go. Ralph Steadman. Sorry, Ralph. It's an amazing book. I need to. This is why we do these things as well, because you don't get to look at that. Absolutely delightful. Robinson Crusoe. This was very near the top of my list. You've got to have a copy of Robinson Crusoe. And here is an illustrated version. There was a series of these, and this has got 16 colour plates on the inside. So the paper's pretty good. There's a little bit of spotting on some of the front ones, but it's not damp. It smells like an old book as well. There you go. Get the idea?
Yeah, get the idea.
Can't remember where I got this, but that is my Ballard. That is the special edition of Crash. Broke the rule at Christmas. I was in Waterstones in Oxford. Me and the wife done a little bit of after Christmas shopping and went out for dinner and went to the theatre. And I never see a copy of this, or really rubbish ones, and I really want it. So I just bought the brand new. Again, there is no dust jacket. It's printed straight on. It's Rebecca Daphne de Maurier. I was in a Oxfam, which is a charity shop in Shrewsbury, and I saw this, and I thought, I'm not religious at all, but if you're going to have this sort of project running where you try and have a copy of every famous book, or you enjoy that kind of collecting, you got to have the most popular book ever written, right? You got to have the Holy Bible. And this one, so I guess the idea behind these is these were given to people. So this was your school Bible, which is why it's protected. It's got like a wraparound leather thing. See that? And then on the inside, you've got all it's got the gold spray, and then you've got the little grips for each
chapter.
Yes. And then on the inside is this. This is really absolute mint condition. It's fucking lovely. This is the trustees of Alaf's School, Shrewsbury, founded in, your eyes are better than mine, 1800, presented this Bible to Nellie Hassey?
Something like that.
Harris.
Yeah.
On leaving the school, 1908.
Wow.
Now, this is 115 odd years old.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a rule-breaking violation. I've got more than one book to represent an author. It's Gene Wolfe. He's down there for the Book of the New Sun, right? But then I do also have the hardcover of Earth of the New Sun, and I just have to break the rule because it's the Book of the New Sun. And then I found this in a different bookshop in Shrewsbury, and I thought, now I'm breaking my rule, but I'm having... You got this?
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't.
Obviously, I need the other one to go with it.
The Wizard.
So I will get the Wizard, but only if I find it like that. And if I never do, fine. This is a true story by Lucian of Samosata. So this is what many people regard
book, right?
as the very first science fiction book. Some people, you know that kind of theory, that idea, and that's it. That's it. It's not very long. It's worth a read. It's really interesting. We're breaking the rules all over the place. Here we go. Left Hand of Darkness. I love the book. I reread it very recently, round about Christmas, and I only ever had that god-awful looking Penguin Galaxy pale blue one, which I don't like, which I got rid of. So I didn't have a copy of The Left Hand of Darkness. And I kept looking at the folio and I thought, again, I'd rather buy something I don't have. And I saw this on eBay for a really good price. This was from America. I think it was only a tenner or something. And it felt like a bit of a gamble. So there's no way that's going to come to me, including the postage. And it's the one I've always wanted. I love that artwork. And it's a little bit old, but look, that dust jacket's only got a few blims on it, but it's the one I wanted.
It's a dust jacket too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's named on the inside and it looks rubbish off, but that's an example where you've got to keep the dust jacket, right? All right, my one and only Eastern press is Moby Dick. Now, before I got this, and this is before I made the rule, and I got this on eBay because it should have been about 80, 100 quid. For some reason it was 25 or something. I was convinced it was a rip-off or stolen or something. I don't care because it's the real deal. Before I got it in my hands, I wasn't that impressed with Eastern Press. They all look kind of the same, leather bound, looks a little bit tacky. But now that I've got it, this may be the most, it's a big shout, it may be the most beautiful book I own. So it's the Eastern Press Moby Dick.
That is quite nice.
And it's real leather, and it's like weird wallpaper on the inside. It's not. And similar to Folio, it's a really nice printing, high quality paper, and every now and again you've got the illustrations. It feels a little bit more classic than Folio, I do like how Folio have different, variations on the art style, and sometimes the box is painted and whatever. But Eastern's a little bit more official looking, and it's really great. I'm really happy with it, and obviously I love the book. Right, Hans, if you're watching, the hardcover Watership Down that you sent me is in storage under the stairs. It's going nowhere. It featured in the Watership Down video, but when you find this in a charity shop for £1, and it has the same artwork on as the paperback that you owned as a kid and used the map and all of that business, I had to have it. So I hope Hans doesn't mind, but that was £1 from a shop in Warburton. I don't know how much it's worth. I don't care. That's incredible. Never Let Me Go hardcover. I was convinced I was never going to find a copy of this. Wandering around Newport Pagnell one lunchtime near where I used to live. This was £2 in a charity shop. Looks better without the dust jacket. A Brief History of Time. You got the folio, haven't you?
I do have a folio.
I want the folio.
Yeah, it's nice.
But for now, this is the one that I had as a lad. I've read it many times, and every time I read it, a little bit of it isn't quite true. And more, it's like it's so interesting reading something that was like, well, this is the new, and it still is, by the way. This doesn't mean you throw this out. It still, you know what I mean? It still explains where we are and what things are, and a lot of it is awesome. But it's so interesting. I wish he was alive just to, over the last couple of weeks, to witness the kind of things that we're discovering and talking about at the moment. Now, I don't know where we're up to on the other camera, the other reality going on in the front room with the hardback library, but at some point, we're going to talk about William Shatner's Tech series, because I have my favourite artwork of the series in the front room. Here are the others. I think I have all of them. Chum has sent me the whole lot. And until I build a much, much bigger library one day, I can only display one. So that's Tech Secret with Bill on the back. Tech Lab, nice ass. We've got Tech Kill, Tech Money, and TechNet. Pev sent me this, and when I extend that library in the front room, I think this is the first thing that's going to join it on the shelf. This is The Night of the Triffids by Simon Clarke, which is, I think, an unauthorized sequel to Day of the Triffids, or is it a prequel? The Day of the Triffids, blah, 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 with really nice. I love that. Thank you, Pev. Oh, I don't know how I done my back. I don't know. It's not good. Right, where were we? Ishiguro. One of the rare times I actually bought a brand new book as it came out. I don't know why. Everyone was raving about it, knowing that it was about to come out. So I think I just got this on day one. So obviously this is first, and I love the book, and we should make a video about it.
We should.
Right.
We should.
Dune. Right, Dune's interesting because in the past I have owned, at one point I must have had 50 Dune books, so various copies of all of the 6 Frank books. So I had the, what's his name? Really famous artist that everybody loves.
Bruce Pennington.
Bruce Pennington. Gee, I'm getting old. I had all the Penningtons. I had the weird 80s ones. I had some other funny ones. I had some of his son's books, but this remained my favourite. Chummers found this, and this is the Penguin Galaxy. This is the best Penguin Galaxy. Some of them don't look right. There's only about 6. Stranger in a Strange Land looks quite nice. This is the best one though. And Chummers found this for £1 at a yard sale in America, and he sent this to me. And I even if someone sent me the folio, which is gorgeous, you got it right. This is just going to go side by side. This is never leaving. An introduction by Neil Gaiman. We should be counting how many Neil Gaiman quotes. I love it. Thank you, Chummers. It's going nowhere. It may be blasphemy to some of you for breaking up the set, but the other Dunes are folio. I've only got one other Dune. I've got Dune Messiah in folio, and it doesn't sit beside it because it sits in the folio case.
Craziness.
Bruce the Wise sent me this. This is a book about, well, you'll see. It's called Ray Guns and Rocket Ships. It does have a lovely cover, but look, when they print on like that, can you see that?
Kind of.
Can you see like
Yeah.
a different thing? When they print it like this, it's got to go on naked. And it's a book about, you know, I guess the golden age of science fiction and the art style and all of that. Absolutely amazing. I guess a coffee table book. What we've got tucked in here, I've picked this up along the way. The Mayor of Casterbridge, Thomas Hardy. There's two Hardys. Oh no, it's George Eliot. Same thing. Fahrenheit 451, 451. I've had several copies of this over the years. Good luck finding a hardcover and good luck finding the folio at a decent price.
Yeah.
We found this when we were filming in Oxford one time. This was just in a shop. Margot, you're taking the piss now. Just stand to one side. And I love it. So that was just a brand new off the shelf, treated myself. I believe James sent me this. This is XX, which we made a video about. It's nice with the dust jacket on, but I like it without. I've actually got a little Bradbury collection, Breaking the Rules. This is the thing, when I get another book, the first thing to probably go will be this one. This is The Golden Apples of the Sun, Bradbury's, it's a short story collection. This is The Illustrated Man. Do you remember we were in Chichester? Margot, go and lay down. We were in Chichester and we saw the folio for The Illustrated Man. I really wanted it. And it was like 70 quid. Nah, that's not happening. And then about a week later, I found this Illustrated Man for like 2 quid. That would do. It's not folio, but there you go. This is More Than Human, Theodore Sturgeon. A really, really great novel. If you're into science fiction, make sure you read More Than Human. This is the series that has the weird covers, and it has a big block there of the title, and then like a picture. There's the one Canticle for Leibowitz with a picture of the monk and the rocket going off. But this is the More Than Human. Again, I think it looks nice, even though I like the cover. Lucra gave me this when we met a couple of Christmases ago in London. This is Italo Calvino's Cosmic Comics fabric hardcover. Salman Rushdie, The Satanic Verses.
Oh, you get in trouble for that one.
Because it's the Satanic Verses. It's an extremely famous book, and it's got to be in the collection, right? I've never read it. Now, I've had this for years, and I always forget what it is. It's like, is it a compilation? Is it a load of short stories? It's actually Foundation. It's the Foundation trilogy, and The Stars Like Dust, and The Naked Sun, and I, Robot, all in the same one. And again, I used to have 30, 40 different Asimovs, but that would do me. I picked this up at Astley Book Farm a while ago. This is Michael Moorcock's The Dancers at the End of Time. I believe that's 3. Is that 3 books? That's a trilogy. And I did own the paperbacks in a little collection. But when I saw that, I was like, I'm having that.
Have you read it?
I haven't read a single word that Michael Moorcock produced.
Telling you to do.
Ever. I've read some of his editorial stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing, only for research. Never read a Michael Moorcock. It happens, right? I've never claimed to be a science fiction expert, but I like it. I'm 50 years old, and there's these huge authors. I only read Sturgeon for the first time last year. There is. I'll kick her out if she's been a huge knob. I said you could be in it, but this is too much now. Hardcover, Blindsight, Peter Watts. Can't remember where I got it. I've had it for years. Got rid of the dust jacket long ago because it was tatty. But there's that. I think that's quite rare. This is... Oh, who sent me this? Shit. Sorry if you're watching. I've forgotten who you are. Beggars in Spain, Nancy Kress. I love the book. It's one of the science fiction books that got me back into science fiction about 20 years ago. I think it's a great story. The short story is good as well. And someone got me this very shortly after I actually interviewed Nancy, which was great. I need to put that video back up because that was a lot of fun. There is the Jungle Book. with... this is worth a lot of money. I did check this because I saw a copy like this somewhere else that was going for 100 quid, and I think this is up there. If you look closely, so you've got the Indian elephant there. If you look closely, there's the little the Hindu swastika thing. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Is there another one? I think it might. Yeah, look. Look at that.
Wow. Who knew?
When will we ever learn? Right. Weird one now. I saw this in a shop. This is The Sea by Iris Murdoch. Look at that. I only picked this up because I interviewed... Oh, my feet are going to sleep. I interviewed Nina Allen, which is the same day I actually interviewed her husband, Christopher
Priest.
Christopher Priest. We'll cut that out. That was embarrassing. I interviewed Christopher Priest, and he died last year. But he was married to Nina Allen, who's also an author. And when she was recommending books at the end of the video, right, Margot, right, go and lay down. I'm sure people love you at home, but enough's enough. She doesn't like being told off. You don't like being told off, do you? Good girl. You stay there. This was one of the books that she said is the best thing she's ever. I think she mentioned this, Roadside Picnic, and Pale Fire. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's been recommended personally by a lovely woman, also a great writer. And look, it's just stunning. That is what's that called? The Wave.
Great Wave.
Whatever. Right, another chum sent me a big box of stuff for Christmas one year, and in it was The Moon Colony by William Dixon Bell. This is a fantasy novel that I've hung on to. I got rid of all my other fantasy, pretty much all of it, and I hung on to this because I think it's great. It's called The Scar by Sergei and Marina Dyachenko. Technically, it's a middle book in a longer series, but you don't need to read any of the others. So I highly recommend picking up. You fantasy people that just read the same old shit over and over and over again, read The Scar, right? It's very swashbuckling. Cult member Eddie recommended Space Prison. And I wanted a copy of it because I actually made a video about Space Prison as well. I'd never heard of it before. It does come under another title, depending where you look. And I think this is a print on order thing from Amazon. So you just clicked a button and it's print, I don't think there's like a stock of them or anything. And the dust jacket's quite cheap looking, but that looks good. I have a Spanish copy of Jaws. Can't remember where I got it, but I was so chuffed. Like, well, I'm never going to read it. Is it Spanish? Yeah. But look.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
I'd rather have that than the folio. Damon Knight, In Deep. One of his more famous ones. I picked this up only a couple of weeks ago in a little bookshop, well, quite a big bookshop, in a little village called Much Wenlock in Shropshire, as I was passing. And another one I never ever thought I would find out in the wild. This is Neville Shute's On the Beach. This is the tie-in to the Gregory Peck film, which normally is blasphemy, but when it's on the beach, that's a faded spine, I know. I think that was a tenner. I told the woman on the till who runs the shop, I said, you have no idea. That means so much to me. And she was quite impressed. But I ended up putting loads of other stuff back on the shelf because I was like, I just want that. I got this in Murder and Mayhem the same day that I got Death on the Nile. This is a book called Con Men and Cut Purses. Scenes from the Hogarthian Underworld. This is a book, a non-fiction book about the time of, Dick Turpin, that period of Hogarthian, of people highway robbery and killing each other and catching the plague. Is that the same sort of time? That kind of shit.
Probably.
Pooing in the street and whatever. And it's really, I've read it. It's really lovely. Really interesting. I did mention on the 50k Q&A recently that if this house is burning down, other than these dogs, my wife, what book would you take with you? For some reason, I said this one. There's lots of more expensive and nicer looking and whatever. But when I read my very first Robert Silverberg a couple of years ago, Dying Inside, and absolutely loved it, I straight away had a Zoom with Miguel, cult member Miguel, because he knows Robert Silverberg, and I just like sharing that kind of thing with Miguel. And then a few days later, this came through the post. Miguel reached out to Robert Silverberg, and I don't know if Miguel had a copy of this and sent it to him or how it worked, but he arranged this with Robert for him to sign a true first edition of Dying Inside.
Wow.
And then sent it to me. I love the book, the actual book and the physical book. Thank you, Miguel. That may be the one. Now that I've said it twice, I will have to, if I come and go, oh shit, the house is burning down, I will grab that one. That's fantastic. Back to the paperbacks. There's my copy of We. Have you got any of these in this?
I've got one or two.
Oh, right on the top there. There's the Ice and a Cavern, which I read last year, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. While I was looking for this, because I knew it was in this box, I put it down to one side, and then I repackaged this box and put it back under the stairs. And when I came out, I thought, did I just put it back in I couldn't find it. And then I found it in Margot's bed. And you can see she only chewed for a few weeks. She actually grew out of it really quickly. But that means a lot to me now because it's got dog teeth dents from that dog right there. Anyway, really nice old vintage Arthur C. Clarke Earthlight with the, I don't think that's coloured over time. I think that's how those were printed, right? I think. This is amazing. This is Revolt of the Triffids. I believe when this was published in America, so this is the John Wyndham novel,
Okay.
they printed it with a slightly different title. So you've got this kind of unit that might be worth quite a few pennies, but I don't think I'd ever sell it because that is really sweet. I'm not going through the publishing history and who it's. I don't know that. We'd be here all fucking day if I'd done that. Le Guin, Rockannon's World, which is part of the Hainish Cycle, Left Hand of Darkness. Well, I think this is the first one. Haven't read it. City Come a Walking by John Shirley. Apparently, this is it's basically a man the size of a town, a building. Made out of bricks, wearing shades and holding a gun. This author was actually on the Dickheads podcast, who cover all the Philip K. Dick books, and he was a guest on there. Really interesting guy. And I didn't realise I had one of his books till after I listened to the podcast. Apparently, this is really cool, like a cyberpunk novel. Moorcock. At one point, I had so many of these because you come across them all the time, and I kept the one with the cool cover. I might have I might have a couple more.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Have you read any Moorcock?
Not a single word. I know that's blasphemy, but it is what it is. First edition Michael Crichton Sphere. It should really leave because I've got Jurassic Park. I don't need this, but it's such a nice. I just keep it because it breaks the rules because I don't think it's particularly expensive either. But that's really cool.
Have you read that one?
I have read Sphere.
It's good.
It's good. I like Michael Crichton. It's not as good as Jurassic Park, but it's another weird first contacty underwater. It's good. This is a first without the dust jacket. I do have the dust jacket. Lucifer's Hammer, Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. I believe Chummer sent me two. He got hold of two copies. He sent me both. And one of them we had a little quiz and somebody won it. I can't remember who. Oh, right. We're almost done with the first one. Down here, this is Jasper Ford, The Eyre Affair, as in Jane Eyre. He's got a series of kind of screwball, weird murder mystery, technically science fiction. And I read this because I was interviewing Jasper, and it's one of those, because I've interviewed him and he was a lovely guy, it was a great interview, really enjoyed myself, I keep the book. Probably worth quite a few quid. This is the original run of Empire of Silence, Christopher Rocchio. I have owned all of them, but again, I don't want a big wad of a series of books. So I've obviously kept the first one. The Dust Jacket is in storage. If I ever sell it, how much can it? 150? 200? This is the British run, not the one with the big. You like this look, don't you?
I like the British one.
And just a couple of weeks ago, he actually finished writing the last one. I've got no desire to own them all. I think I'll do them on audio. I think maybe. Anyway, there's that. Can't remember where I got this, but that is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain, with a nice seagull on the front. Don't know if it's particularly rare. I've had this one for years. This is a book called The Captain's Fags. I stole this from a pub. I was in a pub many moons ago. I went through a phase of, I'm not proud of it, but it's still funny. I went through a phase of going to the pub, having, I don't know if I had too much to drink, but I had some drinks, and I get a little bit showy-offy and fun. I'd try and entertain the crowd. And what we used to do is steal trophies from the pub, and sometimes they were behind the bar, like bowling trophies, darts things, whatever. And then I put them on my mantelpiece at home. People thought I was really good at these pub sports. Never played them in my life. And this other pub just had some books. I don't know if they just got them at a jumble sale or they meant something. I feel a little bit guilty, but I stuck that in my pocket, put it on my bookshelf, and I've kept it ever since. It's just a reminder of the good old days. When will we ever learn? Right. Captain Cook's Voyages.
Yeah.
This is really old, but it's been rebound.
Okay.
I don't know what year this is from. It's just another one of those where I want famous books. I've had this for ages as well. This is my Dr. Zhivago. Saw the folio in Hay on Wye not long ago. I remember saying to you then, I've got one. Yeah. It's a bit rough, but there it is. Bit of a placeholder. I like the way it looks, and I keep putting this back in the toilet and then going, you know what, that needs to go back out in the library. If you've never gone to the website XKCD, is that what it's called? Randall Munro's work. Basically, he's a scientist. So...
Oh, that's right, you've got the little stick figures.
Yeah, if my printer could literally print out money, would it have that big of an effect on the world? So that's talking about quantitative easing. Some of them are more interested in quantitative easing, like how much force power can Yoda output? He actually figures out these things in the real world. And there's stuff about orbital speed. What place on Earth would allow you to free fall the longest by jumping off it? What about using a squirrel suit? And it tells you about this mountain that's got like an overhang. Really, really great stuff.
That's cool.
It's a toilet book, but there it is. Found this in Cambridge. This is worth a lot of money. This is Vintage Modern Classics. I did sort of have a Google around to see if they make any more, because this printed straight onto this lovely fabric, almost like a folio style, I absolutely love, and I think they're quite expensive. There's not many of them. This is the Time Traveller's Wife. I think that's worth 50, 60 quid at least. I got it for like 4 quid. This is the Oxford Book of Short Stories in the folio style. It's not a folio. So you got Sir Walter Scott. There's actually The Fall of the House of Usher, Edgar Allan Poe. There's some Twain. There's an Ambrose Bierce. The King in Yellow guy who done the stuff that led up to Chambers. He was kind of the originator of the King in Yellow. Robert Louis Stevenson, Henry James, blah, blah, blah. Somerset Maugham, James Joyce short story. Yeah, very cool. Haven't read any of them. Another one, forgive me, I can't remember who sent it to me, but this is the special edition of God, I always forget. Fairy Tale?
Oh, Stephen King.
Stephen King. Special edition with the poem printed on the side. Who sent me that? Can't remember. Tim Powers.
Oh yeah, Anubis Gates.
The Anubis Gates. Another one I don't... Bruce McAllister. This is Humanity Prime. Kept it because it looks cool. Simple as that. Ah, this is what I was looking for the other day when I was making the video. This is Divine Invasions, A Life of Philip K. Dick. So this is the biography. I looked through this and I couldn't fucking find it, could I? Well, there it is. Too late now, I've already recorded that video. The Rake Hells of Heaven by John Boyd. So that is a rocket that looks like a bottle, or a bottle that looks like a rocket in space, and out of the top of it comes these people made of stars.
Oh yeah.
Harry Harrison, Death World, #1. Did Joel send me that? Did somebody who's got, maybe it wasn't Joel, somebody sent me that after they realised I didn't have it. Thank you, whoever you are. There's another James Blish, Cities in Flight. Maybe I have all of them. That is Earthman Come Home. That's not a pen, is it? Is that Chris?
Let's have a look.
No. He did he do some of, is that
not a Pennington, no.
Because there are some Penningtons that don't look like Penningtons, if you know what I mean. A for Andromeda, Fred Hoyle and John Elliott. Not only is that cover amazing, but the back is also pretty sweet as well. I only really get the chance to have a good look at these when I do something like this. You know what I mean? Even when they're on the shelf. John Brunner, the Shockwave Rider. We've got Ruby Rucker, Software, which I need to read. Philip Jose Farmer. There's another one where wherever you go in this country, if you're knocking around second-hand bookstores who have some science fiction, you'll find so many Philip Jose Farmer. They all look awesome. I've got Riverworld in the front room because I've got it in hardback, and we may come across a couple in here. This one is called Strange Relations. I kept it because it's a bearded man with a slug on his back. He also has a big pair of tits and like lion legs, and then there's a snake and some eggs and a monkey coming out of one of the eggs. It's like, let's just put it all in the same picture because it's all awesome.
Yeah.
The Robot Brains. Classic. That's my canticle for Leibowitz.
Oh yeah.
As soon as the Folio Society, because last year they released the leather cover, the really awesome looking one for about 500 quid. Yeah. And they also released a special edition of Neuromancer. Neuromancer, they have now released the normal version for like 90 quid. I will be there on day one, and I will include it in this video. I won't release this video until I take delivery of that Neuromancer, and I'll show you it. So maybe we should cut to that now. That'd be good editing, wouldn't it? But for now, I'm stuck with this kind of shit. It's all right, but it's kind of annoying that that's my Neuromancer. What else have I got for you? Another James Blish. Maybe they're Chris Foss. Maybe that's Chris Foss.
So
People should know this.
it's got the stripy bits. Might be a Chris Foss.
Double Double by John Brunner. I have no idea, but it looks cool. Vonda McIntyre, Dream Snake. Kind of a weird book, kind of a post-apocalyptic, barely science fiction. It doesn't show science fiction in the book that much. This won the Hugo, and winner of the 1978 Nebula Award. I thought it won the Hugo as well. Anyway, kind of forgotten. So I read it a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it. Oh, awesome. This has just been voted. This is really nice. This has just been voted. We're going to be doing this as a read-along about First Contact in a couple of months' time. And this one is included in the lineup. Grass by Sherry S. Tepper. Really, really pretty.
Good
one of those bigger, yeah, really nice. That's probably worth about 50 quid. When I pack these back up, I need to keep that to one side because I'm reading that and I'll forget where I put it, even though it can only be in one of, two boxes. No, I've never read it. Doris Piserchia, the Spinner.
Looks a bit like Spider-Man.
It does, doesn't it? Can't remember where I got that. And then I've got When Worlds Collide by Philip Wiley and Edwin Barmer. And then I believe that's the sequel, After Worlds Collide. I got this. So this is my one and only Vernor Vinge. Is that right? Because I'm never going to find a hardcover of Fire Upon the Deep.
No,
So I've got the prequel, A Deepness in the Sky, which I think is just as good a book. I love it. I've had the American, Chummer sent me the American copy of this as well, but I think this is the European or the British first hardcover. Very nice. I have Sherlock Holmes long stories. I don't know if that's all of them. Doesn't look like enough, does it?
No, I wouldn't.
I interviewed Matt Ruff, who wrote Lovecraft Country, and there's also a TV show of that. Got to talk to him about that, which is great. So that's why I got this. And to be honest, I wouldn't be that bothered about keeping it on the shelf, but that just looks so cool. I'm just keeping it because it looks cool. And I interviewed Matt. This one is extremely special. As a kid, I had this book, and it was my favourite book. I'm into bird watching. I don't take it seriously, but I know my birds. And this was the book. And then I saw this in Shrewsbury for about 10 quid, and I told the guy behind the counter, you've no idea what nostalgia this kicks up for me. This is Reader's Digest, which is normally it's a very well-known thing in this country, but they're a bit cheap looking, except for this one, 8 quid. So every bird, wait till you get there, every bird is painted.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice.
It's open at field fair because we saw something in the garden. I wasn't quite sure what it was. Turns out it was a field fair. Look at that. Look at those birds of prey.
What's your favourite bird?
My favourite bird? My favourite bird? I think it's got to be the long-tailed tit. Actually, it's the bearded tit.
Yeah.
The bearded tit. Because they're incredibly rare and they sound funny. Redemption Arc. Pev sent me this. It's just so big. And I don't care that I haven't got Revelation Space. Or I think you get that by now. This is Subterranean Press Redemption Arc. Look at it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think I prefer this. This is incredibly rare. This is the original run of Diamond Dogs.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, because this was obviously repackaged as Diamond Dogs Turquoise Days.
Yeah.
But this is the first run. I believe Pev sent me this as well. I mean, it's signed by Alistair Reynolds, but who hasn't got Alistair Reynolds' autograph? I got them coming out my fucking ears. So there's only 500 paperbacks and 400 hardcovers. And this is number 24. Apparently they're worth more if they're a lower number. So it's number 24 of 400, signed by Alistair Reynolds and someone else. Someone else has had a go. I'm not sure. Oh, that might be Baxter. Introduction by Stephen Baxter.
Oh, there you go.
Piranesi, hardcover. You cannot. The dust jacket's nice, but you can't. Look at that. Great book.
Do a video on it.
We should. We have we not? Oh, we'll do a Piranesi video soon. And this, I can't remember. This came in a book haul in a box somewhere. This is the first Chronicles of Amber. This is the famous series. Roger Zelazny. The dust jacket was really mullered on this. Greetings, Moyd. Enjoy some epic fantasy. That's from Jay. 2nd of the 20... You got them wrong way round. February the 27th... We do it the other way round.
Yeah, the proper way.
February the 27th, 2021. God, it's getting on a bit. And then here I have a non-fiction book called Dogs. And this is just a collection. It's a really, really beautiful book. It's just a collection of photographs of dogs throughout the ages. Oh, wow. I didn't realise it had this kind of thing. This is people either going to war or coming back, or something to do with war and dogs.
Oh, look at that little one. Oh, he's so cute.
What an interesting book.
Oh, look at that dog.
Big Shepherd.
Yeah.
That one's at the I don't know what's going on. Oh my! There's a monkey. We'll stop there, right? Because there's a monkey riding a dog. Well, actually, there's a raccoon hanging out with a dog.
That's pretty good too.
That's just a dog.
That's a good-looking dog.
Anyway, that's probably the best book in the whole library. And then tucked in here is my hardcover of Girlfriend in a Coma by Douglas Copeland, which no one talks about, but is really excellent. There you go. That is bookcase number 1. Greetings from the future. These videos take a lot of time and effort and a little bit of money to make. Money which we don't have. You can watch all of our videos for free on YouTube, or if you would like to support the channel, you can use Buy Me a Coffee, which is an online tipping service. Get yourself a t-shirt or a mug or some socks at the merch store. But best of all, we have a Patreon. You'll gain access to our exclusive Discord, home of the world's greatest read-alongs, the podcast Radio Death Cult, and of course, you can tell your friends and family that you've joined a death cult. Links in the description and on our YouTube homepage. Thank you so much. Check. Recording?
Yeah.
Check. Okay, so we've jumped forward, a couple of months since we actually filmed the real, which we done in 2 sessions anyway, but it's at least a couple of months because I've been waiting for this special day. In particular, there's 3 books that I knew were going to come through the post, and I waited for them because I didn't want to re-record another book haul and miss out on anything, because after this, genuinely, unless I come across something amazing in a bookshop that I've been looking for years, I'm not interested in buying any more books. He says buying 3 books just the other day. I'll do those 3 first. And also I'm going to contradict myself because somewhere I don't know whereabouts I'm going to drop this in the video, but probably coming up after this section that you've watched it, if you watch it in order, I'm going to be mentioning the books that I haven't got yet that I'm now going to show you. Don't worry about it. There's just books. Right. The other day, I had a bag of books that I just had left over that I don't want anymore, because that does happen. And I exchanged them with my friend Martin, who runs Hardy Books in Welshpool. I'm only saying the name here. I probably mentioned his bookshop several times in the video, but I spoke to him the other day and said, oh, my library video comes out next weekend, and I've mentioned you a few times in it. I don't think I mentioned his name or the bookshop itself. So if you're ever in Welshpool, which is just down the road from me, drop into Hardy Books and say hello to Martin. He won't know who you are, but he knows who I am. Right. And I had, I've got the Odyssey folio, and of course I need the Iliad to go with it. Now this is not, have you got this?
I've got this. I've got the Odyssey to match as well.
This one?
Yeah.
This version and the Odyssey, but yours isn't in as rough condition as this, is it?
Mine's slightly better.
This is quite bad. The actual lettering on the spine is a little bit faded. The box has seen better days. The book itself, there's a little bit of spotting, but for the price, which I can't remember, but I wouldn't pay big. Well, it was an exchange, you know what I mean. I get the Iliad to go with my Odyssey, which is a mismatching set, and you know how much I like that kind of thing. It smells of old book as well, so that will do me. That's the Odyssey and the Iliad done. He also had For Whom the Bell Tolls, which personally, I think is the better version. Better than Metallica's version anyway. It's a Metallica joke.
Oh yeah, great.
Ernest Hemingway, again, I've said this 100 times in the video, I want everybody represented. I wanted Hemingway. I think that's the quintessential Hemingway, isn't it? Or is it
What others are there?
The Old Man and the Sea?
Oh yeah.
Maybe that is. If I saw a nice copy of that. So again, that's a little bit faded, but they always look better when they're actually on the shelf, okay? And the last one I got, now this is awesome. This is, let me just check the date in there. I haven't got my glasses on. This is a 1947 first printing. This is the first version. This isn't a first printing. This isn't a first edition of Mice and Men, because that would be worth thousands and thousands. This is the first printing of this edition from 1947, because I believe Of Mice and Men is 1937, I think. So there's, and this is the Tower Books version. I got it for that artwork, and just ever so slightly, well, more than ever so slightly, slightly ever so slightly scruffy dust jacket. But that's something that I've been looking out for years. Finally have it in the collection. So that's what I picked up. Now to the main event. Hello, my name's Moyd, and I'm a book addict. I've got a broken binding book and I've got 2 folios. Let's do a folio first, because we don't know which one it is because they've been shuffled around in the cupboard. You should know what they actually are. And let's pray.
Going for a full unboxing experience.
Well, let's pray that that they're not damaged, because that would be a bit weird. I have had one damaged folio in my entire book buying career, and I don't know how it got damaged because the box was absolutely fine. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, there we go. There we go. As you know, part of the experience of buying a folio is getting this lovely honeycomb paper that they triple wrap, quadruple wrap everything. Which one do you think it is, Charlie?
I can't remember what the other one is. I know what one of them is. I can't remember what the other.
Well, that's not much of a game then, is it? There's one that you're very excited about.
I want to see that.
That you... I don't... Oh no, there's the free... I thought... this is the one that you're not so excited about, okay. But I am.
Who was it packed by, first of all?
This was packed by Svetlana. Whenever you buy a folio, you get one of them. I think it's genuine. Do you think it's genuine, or they just get the next one out of the?
Every time, so I think it's.
Yeah, they could just have loads of them all stacked up, and you just whatever. Anyway, this is special because I've just reread this. It all worked out really nicely as well. That I just reread it. I obviously didn't get to read the folio version because it's in here.
Oh,
and there is,
of course,
Use of Weapons by Ian M. Banks. And of course that goes along next to the Consider Fleabass and the Player of Games, which we probably haven't got to in the video yet. And there it is. That is a really, really lovely, like really tight woven cloth finish. So it matches the other two, as in it has very stark design and then the little sort of glittery spots on it. And there he is. I'm assuming that's Zakoway. Is it the same artist?
I would have thought so.
Is he doing all of them? Nice. Let's have a look at a couple more.
Oh, yeah.
don't know if it's a digital artist. That's not hand painted, is it? You know what I mean by digital artist? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
It might be a different artist, actually. Instead of Phoebus one looks a bit more abstract.
Yeah.
These have all got that sort of same greeny tone to them.
They do, don't they? Oh dear. Bit of a spoiler.
Spoilers.
Wow. But if you're watching this video, the chances are
That won't mean much to you unless you read the book, right?
it won't spoil it either, or will it? You'd have forgotten about it anyway. And it doesn't really give anything away. It's not like, nah. Anyway, if you know, you know. Let me check that before we move on, because the video is about nearly 4 hours long anyway. Oh, it is. It's Daniel Taylor. Yeah, they're all by Daniel Taylor. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. That one's got like a look to them. Well, this one's got the yellow and black. Are they all sort of yellow and black? Anyway, can't be asked to do that. We've already gone through that one. So there's use of weapons, which means we should do the broken binding next and then finish on the one that Charlie's really excited about. But I'm mega excited for this is the one that's really been holding up the book haul, the whole video, in fact, because I think the other two were announced while I was still waiting for this, so I would have gone ahead. But this is the one this is the one that I never thought I'd get something like this in this library, simply because a hardcover. Oh, they've stolen. That must be the other dust jacket. Broken binding. Oh, look what you get. They've absolutely ripped off their idea, the Folio's idea. Not a bad idea, actually. Or have they always done that?
I think they've done it for a while.
Yeah. Maybe all booksellers do the same thing. Really good for starting fires, this paper. Right, now, with no disrespect, it's not a folio, but they do. Ah.
They get a book one with a folio, do you?
No, you don't. So there is. I don't know if that's relevant. That might be relevant to this. Is that
yes, it is. That's specific for that book.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. I do like the paper thing. The book itself, they're just nowhere near the quality, but they're still pretty good. Oh, interesting. So you all know this is Hyperion, Broken Binding Hyperion by Dan Simmons, and that is the new artwork cover.
Let's take a look. So that's the Shrikey boy.
Sprayed edges, which I decided I don't really like. I don't really get it. It feels like I'm getting ink on my fingers. What's that called? The end papers? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Let's take a look at the bed. Take the jacket off.
Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it?
It is cool. Oh, there you go. So I guess you're getting that kind of thing going on. Very nice. However,
that's not what it's about, is it?
No. I would have got that anyway, but the reason this was kind of delayed in printing and took a while to get here is because they were waiting for this. This is a second dust jacket. Oh, you have to fold it yourself. I won't do that on camera, but that... Oh, no, you don't. That is the original... And they've done the same thing as... It's got a weird printer look to it, hasn't it? Again, don't you think that's quite dark?
I don't think so. It's got the same sort of canvas. You can tell that it's a canvas painting. That's what that grain is.
Is that the first... That's the one that everybody wants. That's the classic...
It's the one you want.
Yeah.
Just try and focus in on that a bit.
See, I don't think it's anywhere near as bright and orangey. Maybe it'll look better on the actual book. So it's the alternative dust jacket. So that goes on there. So you need to give it bit of that. So you give it one of them. It's got a bit of a curl to it, but that'll come out once it's been on there for a while. And then what you have is something that I've always wanted. It's not as, it's just I guess it's a stylistic decision to go for that kind of look. I think Perdido has the same as well, but I'm not complaining. That is what I want. And it's quite cool that you have, now the sprayed edges kind of works because now you have a little bit of the new, and obviously all the inside is the new black stuff. But that's the one I'm showing. And I'll probably just put this on the inside of it and whatever. Or you can have that if you want.
I've got it.
Oh, you got this?
I've got it, yeah. It arrived yesterday.
So we've all got this.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Right. But that means... Is this the main event? This folio came out about 6 months. The special edition of this came out about 6 months before this one. Or is it even longer than that?
Might have been a year.
A year? And I was a bit pissed off because I do not like it. If I'm being selfish, I don't like it when Folio don't give you the option of buying an ordinary version, which is £100 anyway. And I don't care about their business models and what works and all of that. From a selfish point of view, I don't like to see the only option is to buy a £500 leather clad version of Canticle for Leibowitz or something like that. And they've done the same with this book. A special edition came out and all the rich people that can afford to buy them snapped them up, and they're going to go either just on a shelf or they buy two and they put one on eBay and they flip it. And Folio are very proud of selling out in a few hours. And you're like, okay, so nobody that actually loves this book, very few people that actually love this book have an opportunity to buy a folio of it. And they don't always do another version. But with this one, they did. So I got this on day of release. Couldn't really afford it because I'm poor at the moment. But this is 100. You got this?
I haven't got it. I wanted to see yours, to see if I like it.
Why have you not got this? This is your book. You all know what this is. Maybe you don't. And another one, like Hyperion, I never thought I'd get... I actually did have the Penguin Galaxy version. Who wants that? And now this has just solved all of those problems. Right, this was packed by Katerina with a Z. Katerina with a Z.
Books packed by...
Have you really?
Yeah.
There's not met that many people that work for Folio. Right, you can probably see what it is already. This is the non-deluxe. Why do you need the deluxe? Because this looks fucking cool. William Gibson's Neuromancer. And there it is, okay? I think the actual spine of the book and the to be honest, I don't mind what colours do what, but that does look very cool. And this is designed to look like that's a deck, right? How you jack into the cyber...
Yeah, it's either a hard drive or a deck. I think it's probably a cyber deck, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also got a little bit on...
That's it. Looks like ports and things down there.
Bit of a interference. Oh, nice font. You've got the chapter.
Still so blue.
It's very, very blue.
Oh, okay, I see it now. I was trying to work out what it was. It's hard to see on the little camera screen, but what?
That's the heist.
That's no, it's not the heist. That is where they do the they hire up some goons to do a raid, like a bomb threat or something.
I do like the chapter things as well. Okay, I won't do them all.
Spindle.
Very, very cool. Neuromancer.
There we go.
And that's my book haul. At this point in the video, that means you should... No, that doesn't mean you've seen everything. It means there's nothing... No, I don't know what it means. It means I've filmed everything But you've probably still got 2.5 hours of library viewing to go. Yeah. And I have to get rid of some books now to fit them all on.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, first world problems. Hello, my name's Moyd, and I'm a book addict. I'm going to sit on this because my back hurts when I do the folios. Okay. So like I said earlier, all my folios just used to fit on this perfectly, but they've overlapped up there. Right, in no particular order, just how they sort of ended up kind of scattered. I have Enigma. You just say which ones you want me to take out and have a closer look at. This is Enigma. This is the story of the code breakers at Bletchley Park in World War II. So that's a non-fiction. I've also got The Princes in the Tower. There's a little set of these. There's the Black Plague, Spanish Inquisition, maybe. And they all look...
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want the Black Plague. I saw it the other day, and I was going to maybe swap it for this one. I didn't run out of money. I just spent a few quid, didn't I? This is quite recent. My local bookshop, he gave me this for 20 quid or something. He likes me. This is the story of the First World War.
Very nice.
In folio.
Yeah. Do they have one for the Second World War as well?
I think they do. And that's another one. I'm not. I could just go on eBay and get it and go, there you go, I've got the whole set. But imagine the thrill of finding it out in the wild. So it looks like I've put my sort of non-fictions together, because this is another one I bought at Hay not long ago. Couldn't leave it there. All Quiet on the Western Front. I've never actually read that. This is The Art of War. Now that looks nice, doesn't it?
Looks quite nice.
However,
or
should I say, but wait.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's really thin as well. It's like I Am Legend is kind of that shape as well. Oh, yeah. It's like crushed velvet, curtainy. I mean, we don't even need to look inside. This one really does break all the rules, because I'm not into building sets, but if Folio keep making these, I will get all 10. You've all seen this. Consider Flea Bass.
I like the orange sparkles.
I don't think they're the best folios, but they're growing on me. Especially this one, Player of Games. Hopefully Use of Weapons comes out this summer or sometime this year. And to be honest, if they stopped at 3, I'd be happy. But I don't think they will. They produce a lot more other books that no one's interested in. This I found the other day in Hay-on-Wye. Was it 30 quid? So I think it was 30 quid. So it's the most I've spent on a book for a long, long time, apart from these new ones. It's mint condition. It's in cold blood. Truman Capote. This was maybe, if I had a wish list of books that I really wanted, this was probably it.
So is that the one that you were saying, if you find it, you're definitely going to snap it up? That's the one you were looking for? And
this is the one.
Yeah.
There's not many others that I had on the list. Like, if I see it, I'm just getting it. Train Spotting, but there is a folio of that which looks nice. If I see that out in the wild for anywhere near a decent price, because Irving Welsh means a lot to me. I read a lot of him in my 20s, maybe all of it, and Train Spotting is the one. Things like On the Road, Of Mice and Men, American Psycho. Bret Easton Ellis means a lot to me. We will get to it. I do have a hardcover of one of his lesser known books. But if I ever see American Psycho, I don't think I ever will, because that would have to be a first, right? Because then it went into paperback. I don't think it ever got like another hard copy reprint. There's no special edition. There might be an Eastern Press or something, but I doubt I'll ever see that ever. And you know, there's a wish list, and then it's just never going to happen. But I'm really glad I got that. This is the collected short stories of Philip K. Dick. I purchased that myself, paid for that of my own money, because I had to have it. which is a weird thing. Not many of these qualify. Chum has sent me this one Christmas. It's just fantastic, and I don't think they've ever done this again. 2 books in one. This is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and A Scanner Darkly. In my 2 favourite, we just made a Philip K. Dick video earlier today, and I did say, I think depending on my mood, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is my favourite, but if it's not, it might be Valis or A Scanner Darkly, but only once you've read a certain amount of Dick. And so to have my 2 favourite in the same book, you've seen this before, right?
I've seen that before, yeah.
We'll just grab one. There's Ubik. And The Man in the High Castle. It's really nice. Picked this up recently as well. For some reason, this doesn't hold its value. You could pick this up for a tenner. I think I did get this for a tenner. This is the Maltese Falcon. It's really bold how they've done that, but it's great. Pev sent me this a while back. This is Dune Messiah, which you all know and love. It can't live next to the other Dune because this is in the folio section. There's my other copy of Animal Farm. I think I got this in Chichester, didn't I?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is quite cheap.
That's Quentin Blake.
This is Quentin Blake, not Ralph Steadman. This is Quentin Blake. Drawings by Quentin Blake.
There you go.
When will they ever learn? I didn't even know this existed, but I found this at Aspley Book Farm, and Viv, the owner, just went, "Oh, you can have that. Just have it." So I don't think it was particularly expensive, but this is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Oh, very nice.
In folio. It's so good. Look at this. So it's proper heavy cloth. Look at the artwork. Look at the artwork. Look at the artwork. I want to make a video about the Green Knight because it's and the Green Man. I don't think they're connected, are they? But the Green Knight is quite a mysterious story, and lots of people have had a go at it and attached it to the King Arthur thing, right? It's not that. And then of course the film, really, really great. There's one of a castle in here that's a bit special as well. They're all a bit special. Let me just find it. And then in my local shop in the town down the road, another one that was really, really high on my list, Beowulf, and it matches that. It's like the same thing. This is a lot rougher, still all right, but the same sort of thing. So that same weird stencil-y look. Look at that. That's a great, great book. Really happy to get that. Another one knocked off the list. I've got all of the Cormac McCarthy's. I think Chum has sent me the Road. Blood Meridian I got for Christmas, and then I think I just completed the set. No Country for Old Men. I know they're doing more. They're doing the Border trilogy and some more. I'm fine with just those 3. I got this weird little box of
English myths and legends.
British myths and legends. Don't miss the Welsh and the Scotches. The Scotches. Yeah, not my favourite folios, but kind of cool to have. Go down here. Let me pull out Frankenstein, vintage Frankenstein. This is 20, 30-year-old version, not the new one, and I think this is the better one. I believe Chum has got this in an auction and sent it to me. This is one of my favourites. Love the book, love the actual folio. It's got these lovely the wood. They call it woodcut, die cut, but that kind of artwork. Is your camera picking them up?
Yeah.
Hound of the Baskervilles. Weird art choice, but there it is. Tucked in here is The Lost World, Conan Doyle. This is an old folio, so it's not even got like full page. You just got the odd Is there pictures? Yeah. Like,
Let's have a look. Oh yeah.
kind of weird. And then I have the other Shelley. Again, Chummer sent me this. I didn't even know this existed. This is The Last Man. This is her post-apocalyptic story.
Okay.
Check this out. I mean, that's how it's done, right? That is how you do it. Absolutely, one of the best. It's really smart. And another one I have to take out. There's Jurassic Park, and it's just stunning.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
You got that?
Yeah.
Back to back here. So 2 years ago, they Folio had a sort of January sale or Christmas sale, 50% off, and for that money, I got The Call of the Wild, because I another one on the list that I didn't have. And then I made a little list on Discord saying if any of these books pop up on that sale, I'm getting them instantly. And one of them did. Breakfast at Tiffany's, the other Truman Capote. I love the book, and that's just fabulous. Brighton Rock, Graham Greene. Can't remember where I got that. An anonymous cult member sent me Oryx and Crake, which doesn't look great on the website. It looks a bit meh, but in the hand, that is superb. This one's very special. This is Perfume by Patrick Suskind, maybe my favourite book of all time. And I mean of all time favourite book. That's what that means, my favourite book of all time. I didn't know the Folio existed. Morney, cult member Morney, I think he posted on Folio, look what I found. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that existed. And like 2 days later, I saw this in Shrewsbury Market. Or it's the other way around. I found it and then he found one straight away. And for my favourite book in the world, it's pretty fucking cool. Oh, so happy with that. What's this one called? The Book of the New Sun.
Never heard of it.
Now I look after my books, but I've actually, the last read I had of the Book of New Sun, I read this copy. You should read. Yeah. You should read the good ones. And this has been to the woods and in the back of my car and up hills and in bags and all over. This is featured in the videos that we've made, and it's come with us. It's been with us every step of the way. You've all seen it, but yeah, there it is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously amazing. God. Sent to me anonymously, out of the blue. No, still don't know who sent it to me. No one said that was me. I would have took credit for that. Still don't know.
Wow.
So whoever you are, I mean, I probably would have got it eventually, but thank you. That was amazing. Cult member Nick bought himself Roadside Picnic Special Edition. It's about 300 or 400 quid. And then he sent it to me. He kept it for a while and he went, do you want this? All right. Roadside Picnic Special Edition. Now, thank you, Nick. I'm not taking anything away from you, but the special editions, are they worth that much? I know that for the resale, which is what, don't get me started on that, but it is amazing. You get extra prints in there. You get a little bit of whatever. Obviously, I love the book. The folio is great. I'd have been happy with the standard one, but there you go. There's a special edition. Misery by Stephen King. I keep looking at Pet Sematary and The Shining, which is in the same sort of set, and then I just go, you know what? This is my favourite one. Although I did recently read The Shining, I liked that, but I'm happy with that. Maybe this is the best folio I've got. This is Stranger in a Strange Land. The folio. It's massive.
It's chunky, isn't it?
It's really special. Just the production, Jesus Christ. It's really special. I think a book like that deserves that much attention, right? I know all the folios have whatever, but it's really, really great. Really great. Need to get that review back on out of the archive. This Christmas just gone, Bruce the Wise must have known that the Hobbit was on my list, so he sent me the Hobbit.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
You've got it, right?
It's a good one, yeah, I've got the whole set.
Really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Picked this up recently as well, really cheap. Again, this is good. This John le Carre done, because this is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy folio. I Am Legend, one of the best ones they've ever done. That really tight fabric thing, amazing artwork, holes in the whatever. Planet of the Apes.
No, that's a good one. There he is.
Special. Conrad, Heart of Darkness. You got this one?
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah. Got this a couple of years ago for 20 quid in Hay on Wye. Mark Twain, Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court. Really interesting artwork. Also picked this up along the way. Huckleberry Finn. And tucked in here is the Renaissance, Studies in Art and Poetry. Another, it's okay. For my 50th birthday, Chummers sent me the whole collection of Hitchhiker's Guide to the actually, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He sent me the first 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 5, because 4 wasn't available. I was like, oh, I'm not OCD about these things, but I can't have 4 out of 5. So I went online and I did find one at a pretty good price to complete it. So I have all of them. And I'd rather have that than the big fancy box, the box set. Do you want to see one? They're great. Can't remember where I got this, but it was around the time we were doing the King in Yellow video. And this is Ambrose Bierce, The Devil's Dictionary. And it's not what it sounds like. It's kind of like a satire, weird old comedy stuff. It's odd. Curiosity. Just nice for the shelf. 1066 and all that, which is like a comedy. It is a history book. It tells you about the Battle of Hastings and the feudal system and stuff like that. It's supposed to be really hilarious, but it's an old, I didn't realise how old it was. And it's just not very funny. But it's all right. I've got a couple of Shakespeare's. I believe this was the very first folio I ever owned. I didn't know it was a folio. Just thought it was a nice book in a box. This is Shakespeare's sonnets. The Tragedy of Hamlet. And there's quite a few of those in the set. I believe maybe all of them. If you look hard enough, you can sort of find them all. Brave New World. We figured this out the other day, didn't we? Because we saw the newer one in Hay on Wye. They still wanted 80 quid for it. This is the older one. This one's better.
Yeah.
This one's better.
That's cool.
And then I got another quite recent acquisition. This is Homer's Odyssey. There is a matching Iliad. And if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. And then to finish off, and I believe Chummers has sent me all of these over the years, there's the Clarks. There's Rendezvous with Rama, 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Childhood's End.
Very nice.
They are my folios. Hope you enjoyed the folios. Let's have a break and do the rest of them. There is my original copy of A Fire Upon the Deep.
Yeah, look at that. Nice.
You read it?
Yeah, I read that.
You loved it?
Yeah, I loved it.
There it is.
There it is.
You can't have it. The Employees, probably the newest book in the whole collection. Need to read that again because it didn't quite stick. What is it the kids say? I bounced off it. I bounced off it. And most people seem to really enjoy what this book was doing. It's a weird framing device, or the narration is done in a broken... Anyway, need to read that again. Anne McCaffrey, The Ship Who Sang. I think I kept one of these because I had loads of the Dragon Riders, the Pern books. Dragonflight. I've just found the books that I couldn't find a couple of weeks ago. What an idiot. Stanislav Lem, The Futurological Congress. Harlan Ellison, The Time of the Eye. I love this one. These are great. The Day They Invaded New York. It's a bit West Side Story, isn't it? Conquest of the Amazon. It's a big monster eating a ship.
Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's great. Look at that.
Shall I keep it right there for the focus?
Yeah.
How about Who Goes Here? Bob Shaw.
That's a good one.
And then I have, what is this? From Emil Petaja, The Nets of Space.
Weird.
All right, these are the ones I couldn't find the other day. There's my Philip K. Dick, Confessions of a Crap Artist.
That's not science fiction, right?
No, it's not. But isn't it a... someone told me this the other day, or I saw it in a video. This is a little bit like Radio Free Album is like a first draft, if you like, of Valis. Isn't this a similar thing, but of Flow My Tears? Or something else? I can't remember, because I've never read it. The Martian Inca. We were on holiday in Sicily and we met a nice couple, and it turns out he liked science fiction. And then when we got back home, they lived in London, and we went round for dinner. And he gave me this. He said this was his favourite. I've never read it. Harry Harrison. This is Bill the Galactic Hero. There's quite a few different covers for this, most of them cartoony looking. I like this one.
Yeah, that's
I
creepy.
kept that. John Carter of Mars. I've also got The Wizard of Venus by Burroughs. That is
definitely a Pennington.
That is a Pennington. Oh, here's another farmer. Philip Jose Farmer. The Wind Whales of Ishmael. This is either a prequel or a sequel to Moby Dick, but a science fiction version, because it's weird. The smallest book I have, I believe, is The Sandman by E.T.A. Hoffman. I believe that was a gift from Hans. Hans, I know I could read that in the toilet in one sitting, if you know what I mean. And I still haven't read it. I do apologise, but I will read it. How about this? I'll keep that to one side along with Grass so that it's on my mega to read pile. Mary and the Giant, Philip K. Dick. I guess that's quite rare. That's one of his non-science fiction books that was printed after his death. There's a few of these. I believe this is the only one I have. Haven't read it, but that's the next part of the project. And then this is the revised edition of Philip K. Dick in his own words by Greg Rickman, forward by Roger Zelazny. So that's some of his own essays and commentary and things like that. I think that's quite rare as well. And just to finish off, years ago, an ex-girlfriend bought me this because she knew I was into UFOs. It's kind of shit and a bit silly, but also cool at the same time. And the last one in this box, I think it's the only self-published book that I've saved from the hundreds that were sent to me. I do apologise, but I can't just keep boxes of books that I don't have room for. And this is called Thrill Switch. And for a self-published, you can tell it's self-published, but that's pretty good. And I keep this one because there's a dedication to me on the inside of it, or I've been written into a few books, a few self-published, and Alistair Reynolds named a piece of futuristic equipment after me. The Moidelhof drive is in his latest book, in that last...
Machine Vendetta.
Machine Vendetta. You know more about it than I do. So I'm in there. And somewhere in here, there is dedications to people, and I'm in that. So I thought I'd keep it. So that's box number one. The final shelf. So, Peter F. Hamilton. I used to have, I don't know, about 10 foot of Hamilton books, but when you refine a collection, you have to keep. This is the Night's Dawn trilogy in Subterranean Press. Very limited edition, lettered copies, obviously signed by Peter and given to. He basically gave them to me on camera when I went round his house and interviewed him. So they're really special because something I never thought I'd get to do, and it was a great day. And he just presented them to me and said, "Here you go. You like book hauls, don't you?" Now, this is a great example of, I had loads of China Melville books. I'd had some hard copies or whatever, but I just got rid of them all and just replaced them with this one. This is Broken Binding, right?
Binding, yeah.
This is the relatively new Broken Binding Perdido Street Station. They've just announced that Folio are doing one. They've just released the artwork. It's going to be special edition.
Yeah, probably 500 quid or something.
And I don't want to rant about it that much, but I don't see much. Who are they for? Basically, they've done the same with Neuromancer. Neuromancer is missing from this. I will get one eventually, but when Folio just decide to make special editions that sell out on day one for 400 or 500 quid each, and a select few people get them, that means that, look, I don't care what they do with their business model, and I don't really care about any of it at the end of the day. But if Broken Binding, I mean, these are fine. They're not great. They're actually quite well made. It's no Folio though, and people do moan about the printing on this. Right, looks like the printer was running out of ink. But then there is a story, right?
It's
apparently,
like, the actual artwork itself was printed on canvas, right? So you get in the sort of modelling from the canvas on the actual print.
Yeah. Fine. but to have a hardcover of Perdido on there for 30 quid, that just says, right, I'm done with China. Okay, I don't need to buy any more. And the only thing that I've pre-ordered the Hyperion as well, because that's another one that's missing from the library, and you'll never. I don't think you'll ever. Again, I've owned 4 or 5 different copies of it, but never a hardcover. This is the books of Earthsea. This is the collection. Ursula Le Guin, of course. I don't think they ever did have a dust jacket. Julius Caesar. I just picked these up along the way over the years. And Henry V. Tucked in here, this is a book that my wife picked up. This is quite a big splash a few years ago. Yeah. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. I don't know if it only comes in hardback, but we've got the hardback. So again, another kind of famous book. Right, this is great. This is first edition Cloud Atlas, which is a beautiful book. It's got some weird, it's not rotten, but it's got some
stain.
Yeah, which is just there. Fine. In the charity shop in Wolverton, where I used to pick up the odd paperback, they had a first edition Cloud Atlas for £1 sitting there. I went, you're kidding. And it was mullered, the spine was leaning, it was horrible, but it still had a place on the shelf because it was a first edition Cloud Atlas. In exactly the same shop, like 6 months later, there's another one for £1 in mint condition, apart from the splashing. But as you look at it on the shelf, mint, whatever. And then we found another one of these in Hay-on-Wye that was signed 750 quid, right? I don't think this is worth 750 quid, but this is probably only worth about 50 quid, but still. Another one that I absolutely had to buy, because I only realised quite recently that it even existed. Probably my favourite non-fiction book of all time is Motley Crue's The Dirt. I'm not a Motley Crue fan. I don't care for them. I don't like their music. I don't hate it, but it's not my thing. I never listen to them. But I do like that kind of thing, but not Motley Crue in particular. But this story of sex, drugs and rock and roll, and it's told by each member of the band, and it just goes through the years, and they all sort of take their turns. Imagine what shit they got up to and times it by 10, and it's in here. It's disgusting, it's hilarious, it's fun, it's very eye-opening, it's amazing. And I love the book. I've had the paperback for years, and that's another toilet reading book, and it had faded in the sun. And there's this 25th anniversary, is that what it is? 25th anniversary in the kind of folio style. It's not as good. The box is nowhere near as robust as a folio, but yeah, I had to have it. That was great, and I got that from a really good price as well. Right, the perfect example of shrinking the collection down. I had all of the Expanse books. I'm not a huge fan of the Expanse, but I had them all. This is a special edition of Leviathan Wakes. I think the dust jacket is kind of nice, but that's even nicer. And I know they've done. What have you found? There's nothing under there. There's some dust, probably. Anyway, yeah, is that pink?
Yeah, pink.
And I know they've done the second one and the third one. And the third one. I'm not interested in 2 or 3. That would do me. This is how you pull your bollocks out, by lifting stuff like this. And this is it. There's a few more books in here, but that's all I've got under the stairs. Okay. Can you see me?
See you fine.
I'll do the lean-in thing and sort of stack them as we go. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
LMNOP. That featured in our video about Gothic literature. So I kept it. That was part of it as well. Horror Store. Which, if you didn't see the video, this is meant to look like a alternative horror version of IKEA. I was so happy when I found this because it's one of my favourite books, and I only had a crappy The SF Masterworks. By the way, I don't have any SF Masterworks books. I think I got rid of every single one of them. Or do I have one knocking around in the Philip K. Dick collection? Because I swapped out my Earth Abides for this.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah? And I'll always do the swap. The Death of Grass, relatively recent edition, made a video about that. Great book. Lee Brackett, The Long Tomorrow, something I need, similar to The Death of, I haven't read it, but I hear it's quite similar, it's post-apocalyptic. Cozy, maybe, I don't know, heard great things. This is my Lord of the Flies. It's kind of a weird, I kind of like it, but there's a folio, if I ever see that knocking around, I say this a lot, if I ever see that folio, or just a nicer hardback version, I'd love to have Lord of the Flies in the main library. Ah, special book, A Voyage to Arcturus.
Oh, yeah.
With the wraparound. I won't open it too much because I don't want to hurt this. I don't mind hurting a spine, but there you go. We made a video about that, which was extremely successful. I read this quite recently. Who? Aldris Budris. Highly recommend. Like a Cold War science fiction, body modification. Is it a real person? Is it a robot type thing? Fascinating. Thomas Dish, 334, heard great things. Cult member Smartula,
Oh, yeah.
read it and really enjoyed it. I think he read it after we'd done the Genocides read-along. Ah, The City of Gold and Lead. This is the tripods, where I think we've figured out, by John Christopher, we've figured out that this may be the very first science fiction book I ever read, or because my parents bought me the trilogy when it was turned into a TV show in the early 80s, okay. I believe. And I found this in Hay. That's the only one. I think that's book 3, actually. Yeah. Matt sent me this, different Matt, Jaeger Matt.
Nice.
Because he loves this kind of thing, and I keep promising I'm going to read it, and it didn't make it to the read-along. It didn't pick enough votes. But look, Matt, it goes on this special pile here, all right? Which means it will get read, I promise, at some point. It stands a better chance if it's on that pile than if it's in the box anyway. World of Ptavs, great cover, really great cover. I think I've shuffled a little collection of, I've got the whole trilogy. I think this is a trilogy. Beyond the Burning Lands, John Christopher. What? Did Cy send me those? Beyond the Burning Lands. I don't know. But there are 3 of them, and I've got a matching set. Maybe I was thinking Cy definitely sent me this trilogy. That's why I said that. I'm not sure. Cy definitely sent me this. It's a trilogy by Piers Anthony. This is Va the Stick. There's 2 more. Kind of like Well, I haven't read it. Post-apocalyptic civilization coming back type thing. There's my Lord of Light.
Yeah.
Happy with that, because I don't think I'll ever find a hardcover for an affordable price. Yeah, there's also my Last and First Men. I've had quite a few copies of this book over the years. I love it. I had the Masterworks for a while, and I kept seeing this one knocking up. And it's a bit shit, but it's also a bit cool. There's my Clifford Simak Way Station. These Pan books with this drawn-on sun, there's a whole set of them. I believe that's the only one I've got. This is from the Ergodic video.
Oh, yeah.
This is Fighting Fantasy #1, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which we played a part of on the video, which was really exciting, wasn't it?
It was very exciting.
Do you fancy some Manseed? Jack Williamson, Manseed.
Lovely.
They don't make them like that anymore. 13 great stories of science fiction. Short story collection. John Wyndham, Arthur C. Clarke, Damon Knight. The same old. The same old, same old. Yeah, this is my Invisible Man. I love this book. I think it's just the latest Collins classic. It will do. But again, I would love a... Didn't... You know, like the Folio done Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and A Scanner Darkly in the same book?
Yeah, yeah.
Did they do The Time Machine and The Invisible Man? Or was it something else? That's what I've got anyway. Greetings from the future. These videos take a lot of time and effort and a little bit of money to make. Money which we don't have. You can watch all of our videos for free on YouTube, or if you would like to support the channel, you can use Buy Me a Coffee, which is an online tipping service. Get yourself a t-shirt or a mug or some socks at the merch store. But best of all, we have a Patreon. You'll gain access to our exclusive Discord, home of the world's greatest read-alongs, the podcast Radio Death Cult, and of course, you can tell your friends and family that you've joined a death cult. Links in the description and on our YouTube homepage. Thank you so much. Breaking the rule slightly, I did get rid of some other banks' hardcovers. I can't get rid of this one because, again, not particularly expensive for some weird reason, but the artwork on that,
It's great, yeah.
on Fearsome Engine, Joel, can't remember, Joel sent me this. I started to read it and I started reading something else. I need to go back to it. And then we did do a little read along, which I didn't join in. So I don't know why. So this is signed to someone else, but I believe it's, there you go.
There you go, look at that.
Thank you, Joel. It's so good, I break the rules, all right? Dangerous Visions, had to have it. I've had my eye on the original hardcover. Can't get it in good condition or less than 100 quid, really. So when they reprinted it, I grabbed it. It's pretty naff. It's not a very, it's pretty cheap, but it doesn't matter because it's on the shelf. Another charity shop pick up the Complete Brothers Grimm fairy tales. This is my Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. That's 2 in 1. It's kind of nice. Lots of little pictures all the way through. Picked this up at Shrewsbury Market as well. The Turn of the Screw. And this is the Ashburn Papers and 7 Other Stories by Henry James. I'm getting it for The Turn of the Screw, which I read last year and loved it. There's a folio, there's a special edition folio as well. So you can spend 350 quid on a slightly, I don't know what they do to it, but Great Gatsby. The folio just went up. Is it special edition or no, like half price or there's something, or there was something going on. But I just can't part with this £2. I had the Brave New World in this as well, which didn't look as good, but I just I just love it. It might even be Reader's Digest. Oh, the great writers. Margot, what are you doing? Go on, go and do something else somewhere. Go on, go and do something else. She really don't like being told off, does she? Ooh. Anyway, that's my Great Gatsby, and unless someone gives me a better one for free, I'm just not. It's going nowhere. I used to forget what the hell this was, but it's Gulliver's Travels. It says Swift on the side.
Swift.
I believe it's just Gulliver's Travels, or there's other. Oh no, and selected writings. I got this for the Agodic video that we made. This is Ship of Theseus, which is the J.J. Abrams thing. Still haven't read it. Oh, found this. This is great. This is what this library is all about. This is The Water Babies by Charles Kingsley, a book and a film that I loved as a kid. And I saw this Shrewsbury Market again, and I had to tell the woman that owns the store. I just said, "You have no idea what this means to me." I think it was only a tenner or something. It's not one of those you can't. I mean, it's kind of cool without, but look at that.
What's it about? Otters?
No, like magical creatures that live under the water or something. I can't remember. It's good though. Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. Very famous book. I was born and raised in Bedford, which is where John Bunyan was. You know, the shopping centre is called the Bunyan Centre. The local high school is called Bunyan Upper School or something. Mm-hmm. And he lived and died round the corner. So it's just something I've been aware of forever. Now this copy, this did have like an orangey sort of sleeve, and when I was checking it out in the shop, because you see lots of copies of this, I just wanted a nice one. The naked hardback is just a bit special. The Necronomicon.
Think about other.
I know it's fake. Is it fake leather?
Yeah, probably.
It's good though. It looks the part. Better than the Dune. You got the fake leather Dune.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's not that nice. And then, although I'm doubling up and breaking the rule slightly, this is the Barnes & Noble complete Lovecraft. And it's kind of got nodules on it. And it's just really cool, so I kept that. A book that no one reads, that I love. This is the first edition of Neverness, David Zindel, which we picked up in Oxford in a charity shop, Pride and Prejudice. Maybe I'll swap that out one day, but maybe I won't. That is my Kafka, The Trial. Nothing special. And then tucked in here, the only Tchaikovsky that I've kept, because it looks unusual and I love the book, I've kept Dogs of War.
Nice.
We did see Cage of Souls in Hay.
Yeah.
That beautiful cover, first edition, hardcover.
How much was she asking for it?
80 or something? Told her to get lost.
Yeah, fuck that.
These aren't represented in there because I've got some hardbacks, but I can't get rid of the original paperback trilogy of Revelation Space, signed by Alistair Reynolds on camera. I can't. That just has to. One of the exceptions of, look, I don't need multiple copies of stuff, and even though this is the only one I've got, yeah, and I've got all three of them, all three of them.
Okay.
Yeah, including the best one.
It's the worst one.
It's the best. It's the best one. It's the best one.
Worst one.
It's the best one. We're making a video about it. The stainless steel rat. Again, I see lots of them all over the place in lots of different versions of this first one, and that's the one I'm going with. Kurt Vonnegut, The Sirens of Titan. I admit, I picked it up. I already had a copy, but I picked that one. I very rarely do that. I did get rid of the other one, so there's my Sirens of Titan. A book that I didn't really like.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't finish it.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Did you like Slaughterhouse 5?
Loved it.
So you're the same as me. Isn't that weird? Not that weird. Speaking of which, is there a link? Yeah, of course there is. This is Venus on a Half Shell by Kilgore Trout.
Oh yeah.
Which is the fictional author
featured in Slaughterhouse.
Featured in Slaughterhouse 5, which is, but this is actually written by Roger Zelazny. Is that right? Zelazny or Farmer? Zelazny. Farmer? Is this Farmer? Is this Philip Jose Farmer? But it's anyway. There's that. It's very cool. Very cool. What have we got here? 10,000 Light Years from Home, which is a short story collection by James Tiptree Jr. I've read a couple of them. They're fucking weird. Like really weird. Great stuff. Oh, I do have another copy of City. I didn't realise that. That's the... No, I had Way Station, not City. It's just another Simac.
Is that a dog and a robot?
Yeah.
Nice.
What more do you need? The Shrinking Man.
Yeah.
Death Arms.
There he is. KW Jeter, our boy.
Short story collection, edited by Joe Haldeman, called Space Fighters. I mean, Chummers would love that, wouldn't he?
He would, he absolutely.
I mean, it's not impossible that he didn't actually send me this in the first place. I'm not sure, but yeah, Chummers would love that. Fritz Lieber, The Big Time, Hugo winner, kind of famous. That is really tiny. Master of Paxwax.
Oh, there it is.
It's if you've watched the channel long enough, you'll know that means something a little bit special. I think the short version of the story is I found Paxwax, this book, when I was shopping, when we had a camera and I was shopping around Newport Pagnell with Chris Peacock, just testing out book hunting. And I think Matt from Bookpilled mentioned something in the comments about it. And I sent him that very copy all the way to America. And then I found this again when I was in London. I think I found this when I was with you, Lucra, and Eddie in Scoob Books. I said, well, now I get to replace Paxwax. That's my second copy of Master of Paxwax. All right? There you go. Bit of MDC lore. Hello, my name's Moyd, and I'm a book addict. You can be in it, but just sit down. We're nearly finished. Right, go lay down. Go lay down. Margot. Come here. I don't even know. Oh, that's The Last of the Mohicans. Right, this is getting ridiculous. Go and get in your bed. Go on. Go and lay down. Keep going. Go and lay down. Go and lay down. Margot, go lay down. Last of the Mohicans. Really, I don't know, really old. I think I looked through this recently and I can't find a year, a date. Don't matter. The Importance of Being Earnest. Oscar Wilde, just something I picked up along the way. I've got a first hardcover of the first 15 Lives of Harry August. The first review that came out of the archive.
Yep.
Actually, at time of recording, it's the only one. More to follow. Obviously, interviewed Claire North. I didn't. When I went and met Claire North, I didn't have this. I had a paperback, and she signed it for me, and then I left the paperback on her kitchen table. So she's got a copy of her own book signed to me, which I think probably means a lot to her. This is To Your Scattered Bodies Go, Philip Jose Farmer. This is the first of the Riverworld series. I did have the whole set. I think I might have had it twice for some reason. Certainly in paperback and hardback, and maybe in some other one. So that's the only one I've kept. It's losing a little bit of the print there, but that'll do. This is the Bret Easton Ellis. This is Luna Park, which is after this is the Bash of the no. This has got to be nearly 20 years old now. My ex-girlfriend gave me this because she knew. I don't still know her. It's my ex-girlfriend. This is a really interesting book. This is one of those where he writes, it's autobiographical, as in he's writing a story about Brett being Brett and going on a book tour, and you think it's almost like an autobiography, but then it breaks reality because it's clearly not true. And you're like, where's the I find that really interesting. I think he's a great writer. But if I found one of the earlier ones,
American Psycho.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. One of the other ones, I'll pick that up and swap it out. This is the works of Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm not sure which ones. This is a lovely copy of John Fowles' The French Lieutenant's Woman, or would it be lieutenants? Is it from an American perspective or a British?
Well, it's a French word, isn't it? And it's a French...
No. If we say that, we say lieutenant.
We do, yeah.
Americans say lieutenant.
Yeah.
But is John Fowles British?
I have no idea.
Who cares? What I really want, though, is the Magus, which was recommended to me by Christopher Priest. I remember his name this time, and that's the one I really wanted. But this is the one I have, and it's a famous film as well. Terry Pratchett. I've owned hundreds of Pratchett books and read lots of them over the years. For the library, I just wanted one Discworld. I chose Mort, and this is the relatively new. Is this the newest print, or is there an even newer one? It's in really good condition, not perfect, but that would do me. Having Mort in that style. Can't remember where I got this, but this is might have been a Chummers box. This is Masters of Everon by Gordon R. Dixon. It stays on the shelf because look. No other reason. Yeah, looks incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
The Giver, hardcover. Oh yeah, here's the other fabric one, War of the Worlds. Because I think that looks good. I think they're the only two that look really nice. Although I don't think I've seen them all. I picked this up recently. I wanted Casino Royale. I wanted Casino Royale Folio, but my book guy just down the road, he had Casino Royale Folio, but he said, what about this instead, to save you some money? This is first edition, not first printing, because that would be hundreds of pounds, but first edition of The Man with the Golden Gun by Ian Fleming. I like the fact that it's a tiny bit tatty and it's kind of weird. And I love it. I think it says 35 quid on the inside.
Wow.
I think I think he gave it to me for like 15 quid. I don't know why he bothers writing numbers on the inside. I get to the till, he goes, I'll do you that for 5 quid. You're like, all right, good deal, mate. It occurred to me that if I'm showing you what books I've got under the stairs, I may as well show you what books I have in the toilet. So these are on the windowsill in the toilet. And toilet reading is different to any other kind of reading because it needs to be quick and to the point, and so it's mainly hiking guides. So there's the hill walking in Shropshire. If you don't look out the window, you won't. If you look out the window, there are the hills. They are within touching distance. We live in the hills. So there's another Woodland Trust, just tells you some places to go around here. Shropshire, a dog walker's guide, walks through Britain's history. And just in case there's two of you in there and you both want to read the same book, there's another Shropshire, a dog walker's guide. And then I have How To by Randall Munro. I have What If in the front room. This is the second book. This is another one where you pick, and this is great toilet reading, because imagine you're sitting there and you're like, right, I tell you what do I want to know? How to power your house on Mars. And then it actually breaks down in quite a comedic way how all of that science would actually work. It only goes on for a few pages, and then there'll be another one, how to take a selfie. I don't think I'm selling it quite well. They're all like scientific, how to play football, but it goes into all sorts of how to predict the weather. Perfect toilet reading. And then the last thing I have is, this is a set, this is the interesting bits, the history you might have missed. And it just basically highlights, I think this is inspired by the QI TV show, like bits of history that get missed in the classroom or isn't commonly known. And they highlight a lot of those interesting stories just like that. Right, we may as well do the whole thing, and if I'm going to show you what's in the toilet, I may as well show you my cookery books. Just bring the camera and come with me. It won't take long. Again, I used to have 100 cookery books, and when we moved into this house, I thought let's break it down a bit. So all I'm left with, Rose Elliott's New Complete Vegetarian, right? There's a baking book there, right? The Great British Bake Off every day. So there's just sort of things there. Oh, these are my wife's. Baker Boo Bakery Cookbook. It's how to make cupcakes and shit. And there's a cupcake book. I only need one Thai food cookbook, and that's the one, because it's got everything you need in there. There's the Dirty Vegan, making vegan food more. I'm not vegan, by the way, or a vegetarian. Fuck that. There's some little ones with just some recipes there. This is where I also keep my Royal Horticultural Society gardening books. There's the Encyclopedia of Gardening and the Encyclopedia of Plants and Flowers, essential. And there's my bird feeder handbook from the RSPB. This is my lifestyle now: gardening, cooking, feeding the birds, and walking in the woods. Jamie Oliver, Jamie's Italian. I don't mind the guy, but I wouldn't take advice of how to cook Italian. I'd make it up as I go along. Probably one not very good. The World of the Happy Pear. I don't know what that is. I'd never seen that. Lucy Lord's Food for the Soul. I don't know what that is either. And the last one is a classic book club edition of Delia Smith's Complete Cookery Course. She's a famous TV cook, and there's personal notes in there. And yeah, this is a bit of a home cook's Bible. And then she also was part owner, chairman of Norwich City Football Club as well, which has nothing to do with it. Right, I think that's everything. I don't know where we're up to in the video and in the edit, or where we're going to jump to next, but you wanted to see what's in my kitchen on my cookbook shelf. I actually prefer the concept of having a little shelf than the books themselves. So I must admit, I cook nearly every day. I've looked at these since we moved here. I've been here nearly a year and a half. So it's more of an aesthetic thing. Look how smart and cool and, twee I am, because I've got a collection of cookbooks up there. That's it. This is Hans Christian Andersen. Margot, you're supposed to be in bed. Go lay down.
She's accosting me.
This is Hans Christian Andersen. You know, the fairy tales.
Yeah.
House of Leaves, hardcover. Had to get that for the read along and the video we made.
How far through did you get?
I got halfway through. Does anyone ever finish this book? Did you finish it?
I didn't finish it.
How far did you get?
He went down into the...
They go down the stairs, and there's the infinite stuff, and they keep doing stuff.
Expedition. I think I got they went on like a 7-day expedition.
It got a bit messy. Didn't someone get shot?
I don't know,
and then they come out, and then I think it's interesting. It has its moments, but I only got halfway through. Could be asked. First edition of The Mountain in the Sea.
I do quite like that.
By Ray Naylor. I've interviewed Ray. Lovely guy. The book was okay. It stays on the shelf because for some reason, I love tentacles, obviously, and that's one of the most beautiful books I own.
It's nice with the dust jacket off as well, and it's the yellow and
yeah, but look,
it is good.
Yeah, you gotta keep the tentacles on. Right, another one of these. Come on, what are they called? Gallery, press, whatever. Oh no, it's not. Forget that. This is just a totally different. This is first edition, Hard to Be a God, by the Strugatsky brothers, the Roadside Picnic guys. Mm-hmm. Really happy with that. I've got a little Everyman collection because they are probably the best books to buy and then remove the dust jackets. They look absolutely fantastic on the shelf. So I don't want to get too many, but when I see them and it's a book that I really want. So this is The Handmaid's Tale. I've had that for a long time. And then quite recently, I picked up Rob Roy, Sir Walter Scott. And then Lolita was right near the top of my list of books that I really need to get. And I found it in this. So that had to be done. And then Catch-22 was probably at the top of my list. I did find the folio somewhere, but I'm not giving anyone £100 for a book nowadays. So finding it in Everyman was absolutely amazing. And then just the other week, this is Roald Dahl's collected stories, because I thought, am I ever going to get like the BFG or George's Marvelous Medicine or something that I really like in a nice hardcover that doesn't look too ridiculous or is too expensive? So that's my Dahl. I may swap that out if I do find one of those, but that will do me. This is Milton. This is Paradise Lost. Milton. Charity shop. $4.99. Don't know. Just great. Look at that. Something special that I got in a shop in Shrewsbury. You got a copy of this?
I have got the folio version, I think.
You got the folio of this? You want this one though, don't you?
It's quite nice.
It's just 7 Pillars of Wisdom. T.E. Lawrence. Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
So it looks, it's actually in really good nick.
Yeah.
It's not knackered. That's just kind of how these are. Yeah, the binding's really good.
Sort of ratty pages. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
it does have illustrations. If I could be asked to find some. Ah, sure it does. Of course, there you go.
Nice.
I think this was when I took a load of books in to sort of swap, and he gave me more money for store credit, and I might have picked up a couple of folios, and then I don't know if this was overpriced, but without the store credit I wouldn't have spent the money on it. But once I got it out of the glass cabinet, I was like, yeah, we need to be together. Pretty cool. First of contact, Carl Sagan. When I was on holiday in France, I got myself a souvenir, a French ballad book. I don't speak enough French to know. The 4 dimensions something. What does Koshima mean? Wanking in 4 dimensions. Fourth dimensional wanking, probably. Van Vogt, The Voyage of the Space Beagle. That is a Pennington.
Yeah, it is. That looks like one of the Dune covers.
No, it's been regurgitated. It's been used. It's on another.
Is it a Philip K. Dick one?
No, although that has been done. I don't think so. People are screaming at the camera.
Yeah, definitely.
The TV screen or their phones. You know what that comes from. Can't remember, but yeah, it's definitely from another book. Oh, and then I had to do the same with Chasm City.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks. Ben Elton, Stark. People, I'm talking to the Americans now. I doubt that this has crossed their path ever. Read it. Ben Elton is hilarious. He's one of the creators of Blackadder.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ben Elton,
Yeah.
right? And he's an author. And a good, fun author. Oh, no, I do have another Tripods book. That's The White Mountains. So I think is that the first one? Yeah, it's got number 1 written on it. So that's the first Tripods book. Not the one I originally owned. But there you go. This is also from Matt Yeager, Michael Swanwick, Vacuum Flowers. He keeps on about how good that is. Now, look, I've already put the Princes of the Air on the pile. So you can't have 2 on the pile. So this goes back in the box, but this will get there one day. I used to have so many of these, the Lensman, E. Doc Smith's Lensman series. There's loads of them, right? And I just kept this one to represent. I had a few of them, so I kept that one. And there is. This should be in the. This is a hardcover.
What's it doing in the box?
I don't know. All right, this is Ender's Game, one of my favourite books of all time, and I have it. Someone from Australia sent this. I didn't know this existed, and I had a few copies of Ender's Game, but not a hardcover. And they sent me this from Australia. And
I like the small format hardcover.
It's really nice, isn't it? This didn't have a dust jacket on that I took off, by the way. That's how it came. Right, that's going in the main library. There's my Solaris. It's not that inspiring. It's just the standard paperback, but it's still Solaris. SF number 4 short stories, I guess. That might be worth a few quid as well. Harry Harrison, War with the Robots. I only kept it because of the cool title. I mean, it's not strictly what we're talking about, but this is first edition, first print in mint condition of the original run of Slain the Horned God. Thank you very much.
What is that?
Simon Beasley. It's from 2000 AD, but then you could buy it as a bound.
Okay.
They call it a graphic novel, but it's you know, it's not. This is very much a look at the artwork thing. Look at that Wicker Man. You getting this? Yeah. Simon Beasley. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. I'm just trying to get... Oh, there you go. Let's finish on that. Nice.
Very good.
There you go. I won't do that to all of them, but I've also got first edition, first print of Chopper, the Sky Surfer, which is like a Judge Dredd. No, is Judge Dredd in that? Don't think so. This is Simon Beasley again. This is Judgment on Gotham. This is when Batman uses a dimension jumping belt and he ends up in the universe of Judge Dredd. Talking of crossovers and people joining, we've made a video earlier today about this kind of thing. Pretty cool. I've also got Dead Man, which is a massive spoiler, but it's a Judge Dredd story. Worth a few quid. I've got a few more. I'll finish with those down there. Let's do the paperbacks. Peter Watts, Beyond the Rift. How's your focusing? Good?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, which is short stories which I haven't read yet. Ice Planet Barbarians.
Your favourite?
So I'm going to I've given up making videos about this because I made one, got took down for copyright, which was a bit weird. Recut it, which was perfectly fine. Re-uploaded it, and then got done for posting pornographic things on YouTube. I got told off. I got a warning.
You had to take a course for Naughty Boys, didn't you?
I had to take a course saying I know what I've done wrong. I promise not to use the word clit and cock in the same sentence ever again. We'll cut that out. Harlan Ellison short story collection called Pain God and Other Delusions. I've read the first couple. It's Harlan Ellison being really miserable. Maybe. Yeah, I need to make a video about just this actual book. This is my Red Dwarf Omnibus. These are the first 2 and best Red Dwarf books. There's only a few bundled together in the same thing. This actual physical copy, when I was traveling around the world in my 20s, this went with me everywhere I went because it was just such an easy read. I've read it many times, and there you go. It's still holding itself together. I think maybe if Folio had done the Red Dwarf books, I'd pick it up, but I still wouldn't get rid of that. That is extremely special. Sentimental value and all that. I have a mismatched set, but still pretty cool,
Jealous of these.
of the Thrawn trilogy. So that's the newer one. Don't worry, the dust jackets are safe, but they just look better. That's the new one. That's the one with the silver.
50th anniversary? No, not 50th.
Yeah, and these, Dark Force Rising and The Last Command. They are the only 3 extra books you need in the Star Wars universe. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's the only 3 I've ever read, but they're the most famous ones.
They are the best.
They are the now non-canonical sequel to Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
It's what happens after, and they're great. So I'm really happy to have them. Matt thought I would like these books, so he sent me all of them in hardcover They are worth some money now. That is Terra Ignota, Ada Palmer. Just, they look nice without, but I'm not taking those dust jackets off because they look stunning. And you may be able to see at the back there.
What we got?
Are we gonna? We'll get. They're so big. These are, and again, I'm sorry, I can't remember who sent me them. These are the Lovecraft big. So there's At the Mountains of Madness Part 1 and 2, and Cthulhu. I believe there's another. There might be another one.
Innsmouth?
It would be that, or I can't remember. So there they are. There's a really good one of actual, Cthulhu. And these pictures get robbed and used all over the internet, don't they? So they just have to live behind there. And I'm not sure what the eventual solution is. I think when this room is completely done, the sofa will go against this wall, everything will switch around, and we'll probably have some sort of coffee table, and I'll be able to get those Stallenhags and them out on display. The Doors of Perception and Heaven and Hell. Aldous Huxley.
Yeah.
This is like the one paperback that my wife said, please don't get rid of that, I'll never forgive you. This is nothing to do with science fiction, it's just found its way into this box. This is The Art of Racing in the Rain, which they made into a film with Kevin Costner doing the voice of the dog. She loves it. The Lathe of Heaven. Maybe my favourite Le Guin. The year that I read it, it was my favourite book anyway. Is it better than... Did you read it?
Yeah, that's the Philip K. Dick style one, right? It's
yeah, so the guy's dreams become a reality.
That's it.
Really, really love that. I might prefer it to The Left Hand of Darkness and The Dispossessed, but don't quote me on that. The Science Fiction of Edgar Allan Poe. You like that? Path into the Unknown, the best of Soviet SF.
wow. Not very much of it, though, is there?
Pulsar, number 1.
What the fuck is that?
Short stories. 4 for the Future, edited by Harry Harrison. Short stories. A special book here. J.G. Ballard, The Wind from Nowhere. With that. No, that's
That's not Chris Foss.
no, it's David Pelham.
Is it?
I'm reading that off the back. He was commissioned to do a like I said, there's like 9 or 10 of these. Jack Vance, Servants of the Wank. You're such a child. My hardcover, what? Right, why is this not in? Right, this isn't in there because I've got 2 John Wyndhams, but this feels weird not to have that. This is a hardcover, very, very old. I don't think it's a first. The Seeds of Time.
Seeds of Time, I haven't heard of that.
Why is that?
Is that an American version or something?
Don't know. Published by Michael Joseph. It's an ex-library. No, I don't think that's American. I don't know. Is that worth a fortune? Morg Jack Van. Unfortunately, that's my the Diner. It's the only one I've read. I really, really loved it. It's a little bit naff. I mean, it's not falling to bits, but it's not great. But that'll work. That'll work. I'm not that precious about these things. Oh, there's the Genocides. Somebody had written 30p on it by the time I got to it. Cool. Philip Jose Farmer, Jesus on Mars. So you got to keep that because that's just awesome.
Yeah, you've got to keep that.
Got to keep that. This is Memoirs of a Space Woman by Naomi Hutchinson. I picked this up after I interviewed Harry Josephine Giles, who won the Arthur C. Clarke Award for that book.
Orkney, something or other. Is that the one?
The space station, the one written in the Orkney language. sorry if you're watching, but she recommended this, kept raving about how interesting this author is. So when I saw it, I picked it up because my memory was working. Henry Kuttner, Fury. I hear a lot about this. People read this and love it. We should get on that. The Outward Urge, which is John Wyndham and Lucas Parks. This is a really old Penguin, maybe worth a penny or two. In that same SF edition, I've got the other Delaney, Babel 17. I love the cover. Didn't love the book so much, but I guess it's kind of important. And according to many, this is Asimov's best book. This is The End of Eternity. So I've got this kind of naff looking paperback, but I really need to read that too. Zelazny. I had loads of Zelazny's. So I've got the Princes in Amber. Is that what it's called? The 9 Princes in Amber, in the front room in hardcover, but I've kept Isle of the Dead because it looks nice. The Weapon Shops of Isha, Van Vogt, which people say if I like Philip K. Dick, I should be reading Van Vogt, and I've never done. It's a big blank spot. That was Philip K. Dick's hero, so I should. Maybe that should stay on that pile there. Although I've got the Space Beagle. Although, no, I want to read that one. And I need to check that it's not like a sequel to something, because there's a couple. This is another... This is the Franco Grigonari. I can't read it. I haven't got my glasses on. But this is another one where Penguin basically commissioned an artist to do a series of artworks, cover works. And that's Fred Saberhager's Berserker. Christopher Priest, The Prestige. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've got a hardcover of any Priest. So he's stuck in the box. Science fiction... The Great Years, another anthology of shorts.
What is that?
So these are short stories from the 30s, the 40s and the 50s.
Wow. Oh yeah, there it is, look at that. Did you finish that?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not much. Didn't really like it. Did you read it?
I got part way through it. I don't think I made it past the first section.
I mean, who would love a book like that?
I know, weirdos.
This might be worth a couple of quid. This is 100 Years of Science Fiction in the... people call it the lozenge.
The lozenge?
Yeah, because of this box. There's a whole set of them. There's 50 or 60 of them.
Okay.
Some are easier to find than others. There is my really nice condition, The Forever War. Was that a folio? Starship Troopers was.
Starship Troopers, I'm not sure about that. I don't think so.
Oh, very nice. Just coming up on our read-along in a couple of months. Made a video about it, stole the artwork and played with it and made my own thing. The Black Cloud, Sir Fred Hoyle, great book. Here's my other... Oh, there you go. I've got Inverted World in that as well, because I had the Masterworks, but I prefer... Obviously, I prefer... Although it kind of is a Masterworks, but you know what I mean. Not the same. We're not far off being done. We have...
We've got 2 minutes left on the clock.
Might have to press that button and just press it and reset, because I don't like to be rushed. I've got important things to say.
Hello, my name's Moyd, and I'm a book addict.
The plays of Somerset Maugham, the more sophisticated portion of the viewers. This is The Republic of Plato. And this is another old Everyman, like much older than these, obviously. Volume number 16. This is Ivanhoe, Walter Scott. Oh no, I've got Rob Roy. I was going to say, shit, I've got 2 of the same book without realising. This is, of course, William Shatner, Tech Power. Now, Chalmers sent me the whole set of it, I believe, or except for one, which I already had. And the others are safe. They're in storage. They're going nowhere. But if you're going to display one, it's got to be that one. There's another swastika.
Oh, shit, yeah.
When will they ever learn? I didn't realise that. But it's an awesome looking car, apart from the swastika, and very robot dog, sexy woman, futuristic building, Nazi car, dude with a gun, Shatnery. It's supposed to be terrible, but that's an important part of this library.
Do a video on it.
What, you want to do a video on that?
I think we should.
This is great. I picked this up not too long ago. David Attenborough, of course, has been making TV shows for 40, 50 years for the BBC. Obviously, nature documentary series. The first one he ever done, the first proper one that he ever done was called Life on Earth. And every one that he does, so it's every few years, they produce a nice book to go along with it. And this is the Life on Earth book.
Nice.
This is slightly fading on the spine, but this is the one with the famous. This is the one with the famous encounter with the gorilla. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
So if we flick here for long enough, we'll see the gorilla. I mean, are we just going to do it until we see it? If we don't, I'm not going through it again. Africa. Monkeys. It's the silverbacks. I thought they'd have a picture of it. Maybe they did. He's talking to some uncontacted tribes. Really, really great. And it's a bit like the Bill Bryson. Now that I've got this and I've got the first Bill Bryson, I don't need any more. So I am on the lookout for Michael Palin, because again, every time he done a TV show, they had a nice book that come out with it. This is a series of these made by the BFI, and this is about The Thing. So it's a book about the making of The Thing and stuff like that. There's a few of them. I think that's the only one I've got. Short story collection, Roger Zelazny, The Doors of His Face, The Lamps of His Mouth. Isn't that awesome? There's the other one of the weird post-apocalyptic Mad Max type cavemen things. I've got the Quatermass trilogy in the original. Is it the original? But in the
I like those ones.
In the Penguin thing. I don't know if that's the first, but they're certainly old and they're certainly awesome. This is Man Plus by Frederick Pohl. There's my... I've just reread this and released in a video. There's my Annihilation, really nice paperback. But I want a hardcover of one of them to represent. You've got the Area X, the whole
trilogy omnibus, yeah.
all bound together, haven't you? Oh, there's the last one of the weird Mad Max blah 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 that Si sent me. And here are the other two of the Prince. I think they're called the Prince in Waiting. Remember I mentioned one of those John Christopher ones a while ago. Yeah. So I don't think they match, because that's a different artwork to that one. Don't know what they're about, but I like John Christopher, so I'm going to have to read them. We're nearly done. Got another hardcover, small hardcover, Frederick Pohl, Day Million. That's another wife book, which we don't need to look at. Dragon's Egg, just voted top in our recent poll out of 12 books that we could possibly read about First Contact. This one came out on top. So people really want to read this. I've read it, Dragon's Egg, made a video about it. I've got the Roundy Edge Stars My Destination, which is really, really nice. Great book as well. Not quite the end. I forgot I had that. There is The Fifth Head of Cerberus. I mean, brilliant. Brilliant Pennington. You've got this, right?
Yeah, I've got that. I think I've got... Oh, I don't have the full set. I don't think I have the Book of Days. I think that's the only one I don't have.
Book of Days? I just sold that.
Did you?
Paperback.
Yeah,
with a picture of a car on the front.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, if I'd have known you wanted it,
doesn't matter.
I'd have sold it to you. Well, a little bit more, obviously, but I could have sold that to you. I believe the last proper paperback in the box. I've had many copies of this. Again, if you've watched the channel for a long time, you'll know how much this means to me or doesn't mean to me. This is George R.R. Martin, Tough Voyaging. People used to send me copies of this for a joke. It's really disgusting. Look. It's kind of Photoshop weird. I don't know what it is.
It's just got a bit of everything in.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Right, I do have a few more. Put the wife ones. So I don't think it quite warrants a place in the front room because, well, this is the only Junji Ito that I've got. The only one I've read, which is Romina. And then it's just like the comics, the graphic novels, which I can't bear to get rid of. V for Vendetta, Batman, A Death in the Family. And then, of course, I have The Long Halloween and Dark Victory.
I need to read Dark Victory.
Which is kind of what Nolan's Batman universe is based on. Yeah, it's no surprise to anyone. I mean, you just got to have. What's that beeping?
It's stupid.
You got to have this. First edition. That might be worth quite a few pennies. That is the first run of Killing Joke by Alan Moore. Fuck Alan Moore. And last but not least, I would have them displayed, but they're too big and bulky. I have the entire set. Although the new one comes out very, very soon, I have Tales from the Loop.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You got this?
Don't have that one. No, I've only got the Electric State.
There's the kind of the sequel, Things from the Flood. I mean, we could be opening these up and show you some amazing art. But don't know why we're not doing that. There's the Electric State. Now available as a shit Netflix movie. Apparently. I didn't watch it. Currently the latest one. Labyrinth. And finally, at the bottom of the box, we have The Culture, which, if you don't know, are like schematics, drawings made by Banks of ships. You can't see this, can you?
Tilt it forward a little bit.
With all due respect, you're not missing much. It's a collector's piece. Somebody sent me this. I'm glad I didn't spend the money on it myself. Yeah, this gets a bit of a bad rap for being, well, that's what it is. Again, that's kind of cool. You know, that's that. Right, that's... One day I'll remake this video because when I get a bookcase built in a different part of the house, the new office that will be built over that side of the house, I will have a designated area that is, these are Moyd's paperbacks, and I will see what room I've got and I will put them on it. And I guess I don't just want books sitting in a box. Whatever's left over, hopefully I'll get them all on there. I still don't know what to do about these graphic novels and whatever. I'm not sure they really go anywhere. Maybe when we remodel the front room, I'll have some deeper things, and everything I own will be on display and you can touch them as much as you like. Cut.
Greetings from the future. These videos take a lot of time and effort and a little bit of money to make. Money which we don't have. You can watch all of our videos for free on YouTube, or if you would like to support the channel, you can use Buy Me a Coffee, which is an online tipping service. Get yourself a t-shirt or a mug or some socks at the merch store. But best of all, we have a Patreon. You'll gain access to our exclusive Discord, home of the world's greatest read-alongs, the podcast Radio Death Cult, and of course, you can tell your friends and family that you've joined a death cult. Links in the description and on our YouTube homepage. Thank you so much.
Right, back into the front room because I realised, do I need a light on? I realised when we done the library tour, there are some books in the shelf, in the shelves underneath the things. So let's start over here. I can't remember what's in them, but I know there's some books. And now I can't open that. Right. Okay. For some reason, Brian Aldiss non-stop is just in that. Okay, that needs to go back in the box. I don't know why. Maybe I was going to read it and I just wanted it knocking around somewhere. There is my hardcover of Raw Spirit, which Richard sent me. It's only relegated to the drawer and not on show because Banks has quite a bit of shelf space and I can't give him any more, but I can't get rid of that. There's Blu-rays. I mean, look, how predictable am I? These are the Blu-rays that I've got under here. I don't know why these are under here. There's the best TV show ever made. There's the Thing. There's A Clockwork Orange. Right, there are some more books. I've got... I don't know why that's not under here either. This is the short story collection, Endangered Species, by Gene Wolfe. I believe this is the one that contains the map, which is part of the Book of the New Sun. That might be why. No, the story's called The Map. Oh, okay. The Cat and the Map. The Cat, the Map. So I kept that. These are the research books. This is the Lexicon Earthus, which is the reference book for the Book of the New Sun. Written by Michael Andre Driussi, who is a friend of mine now. We've made a couple of videos with him, and he emails me every now and again. This is the other chapter guide that he wrote. The Lexicon Earthus is better than this, but they're both very, very handy. Solar Labyrinth, which kind of does what we've done in the video, where you take those theories and kind of explain them out and bring some evidence and talk about them. This book does a very, very similar thing. It helped me enormously in making that video. And then Michael Andre Driussi sent me this a couple of weeks ago. He said, I saw you made a video about The King in Yellow. I've made a guide to it because it's another very confusing book about what the hell's happening, very Gene Wolfe-y. And he's done a guide for The King in Yellow. So he sent me that. And the last thing I've got in here for some reason is the collection I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, because we made a video about it and I had it close by. I don't know why that's not back in the box. It's doing no harm here, I suppose. And finally, I think this is the Philip K. Dick paperback collection. Philip K. Dick, Selected Literary and Philosophical Writings. Can you see the covers? So we're going to go through them all. These are all featured in a different video, but A Maze of Death, that was one of my favourite covers, that is. The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. There is that lovely Ubik with the rounded corners and the sideways writing. I really like having different versions of these books. I don't want them all in the same, Masterworks or Pan or their originals or first. I like mixing it up. What the hell's going on?
Let the dogs out.
We were doing so well. Right, you can stay, but just get out of the way. That's it. Right, get out of the way, you giant bellend. Right, our friends from Frolic say, people don't like, I like this look. Like I say, it's all right to have a couple in there. Okay, when we were making that video, which should have been out before this, when we were making the Philip K. Dick collection ranking video, I didn't have a paperback version of The Man in the High Castle because I've got the folio, which is just there. But for the video, I wanted a copy of all of them. And as I was looking online, because I didn't have time to go out and secondhand and whatever, I saw this and I thought, a lot of people think that the TV show or film tie-in ones are disgusting. And they are most of the time. But there's something about this one I quite like.
It's not the worst.
And I like having one of those in the collection. It just shows that our boy made it. Our boy made it to the screen. Doesn't it? Right, there's a couple of non-ones in here. Right, there's Dr. Adder, which was featured in another video and never made its way back in the box. Oh, look at this. This is a book called Cain's Jawbone. This is almost like a prop from the channel.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know, this is in the Ergodic book video. Every page is numbered and it's only printed on one side, and they're all printed out of order. And you have to it's a murder mystery, and you have to put them all back together again in the right thing. You don't have to cut them out like this. But for a tiny bit of comedic effect, we destroyed the book. But it's still there. You could still actually do it, right? Here we go. Right. Right. Are these in? Right. Are these going to show up properly? Right, Margot, go do whatever you do. Just for 10 minutes. The Divine Invasion. Another one that I didn't have a paperback version because I've got the folio, and I saw this online and went, yeah, that's kind of shit, but I'm having it. That's the book he made with Roger Zelazny. Deus...
Irie?
What is it? Deus Iria, Deus Irie, Deus Aya, whatever. I know I've just said this twice before, but this was another one I didn't have because I've got the folio, and I didn't have any of the Philip K. Dick's in that livery. Is that what it's called?
Don't know.
You know, that
Style.
And that's kind of shit as well. And this is the 3 early novels. So this is The Man Who Japed, Dr. Futurity, and Vulcan's Hammer. So they're the only 3 that I don't have individual copies of because I've got that. I did look into getting all 3 of them to be a completist, but they're all quite expensive. And if you're getting 3, I didn't want to drop 50 quid on some books when I've got this, and I can waffle on about this instead. You know what I mean? One of the few that I've got 2 copies of, Solar Lottery, Radio Free Albemuth, The Penultimate Truth, Counterclock World, the wraparound artwork. Not a very good book, but great artwork. Now Wait for Last Year. That's a vintage door. And then I've also somehow got a newer version of Now Wait for Last Year, The Simulacra. This is the book that he wrote with Ray Nelson. This is the Ganymede Takeover. I found this only a few weeks ago in Shrewsbury, and because I was swapping some books, this was listed as like 12 quid or something. I normally wouldn't do that, but because I had essentially store credit, I had it. This is kind of cool. It's my Dr. Blood money. We have We Can Build You, Valis.
I really don't like that one.
It's the only.
I don't like it.
It's the only one I've got in this type. I kind of like it. I swapped it because I had a Masterworks and I don't like Masterworks. It's the only one I've got of this type as well, which is really kind of naff looking for such a great book. Eye in the Sky, Transmigration, Timothy Archer. That just looks weird, doesn't it?
It does look weird.
Flow My Tears, The Policeman Said. I used to have to Android's Dream of Electric Sheep in that one as well. And Dr. Blood Money, did I? Can't remember. Lies Inc. Martian Time Slip. There's my other Solar Lottery, which I think is better. It's kind of nice. Nearly done. Oh, an anomaly. This is one of the non-science fiction ones. So I've got Mary and the Giant in the box in there. And this is The Man Whose Teeth Were All Exactly Alike.
Are they all exactly alike?
No. No, they're not. What a crock of shit. And it's got a picture of Philip on the back with a chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. We have The World Jones Made. Clans of the Alphane Moon. Peter Jones artwork. Very nice. The Zap Gun. Oh yeah, The Golden Man, which is a collection of short stories. Just trying to figure out which one to end on. Okay. Time Out of Joint. That's another one of those Franco Grignani. You know, I showed you Berserker earlier in the video, or it could be later. Don't know how I'm going to edit this, but there's a set of these, time out of joint included. I really like this one, but I don't really like the book. The Game Players of Titan. And the Cosmic Puppets. The Crack in Space. And finally, is it my favourite? It's pretty sweet. It's Galactic Pot Healer. It's
pretty good.
It's just great. I've run out of books now. This probably won't be the end of the video, so I don't need to do some amazing sign off. You just point the camera back at the dogs if you want. This is the poems of John Keats. So if you're into Hyperion, that is a kind of a cool thing to check out. Because this library is about representation, right? My reading life and whatever. I grew up reading Enid Blyton. I was a very early reader, and I devoured all of the famous 5 books. So I found a bookshop that had quite a few of these, and I just wanted one to represent famous 5 on my shelf. So I picked the one with the silliest name. So 5 go to Billycock Hill. Because I'm immature in that way. My wife's friend came to visit us in the other house, and we went for a walk in the woods. And apparently I knew quite a lot about mushrooms. I don't know anything about mushrooms. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't remember saying anything like that. So next time they came to visit, they brought me the River Cottage Handbook #1 to mushrooms.
Brilliant.
But it's such a nice looking book. I'm keeping it just to remind me, don't lie about things. or do lie and people will buy your books. Another one of these, this is the last one. This is Edgar Allan Poe. So this is a collection. And again, I see Poe books out there and I want them, but this will do me. This represents Edgar Allan Poe, and it's got the big ones in there. You know, it's that. These are hardcovers of 1Q84, book 1 and 2 together, and then book 3. Can't remember who sent them to me. I think these are worth quite a few quid. They're not firsts or anything like that. I think the first has a different artwork, but that is the artwork that I love. I think that's fantastic. I had all 3 volumes in one paperback, which is the one I actually read. But obviously that's great. I'm very surprised that Folio haven't done this one yet, because they've done 6 or 7 others, right? And they do seem to sell well. And I thought this was maybe his most famous book. So if that comes out, I don't want it, because I wouldn't swap it. I've got these. I've got exactly what I want. So the future of this library is I don't go out hunting for books because I need to fill up the bookshelves. If I see stuff, I do have a list, but to be honest, I don't think it's like a midlife crisis, or once you get to 50, do you think, hang on a minute, am I ever going to read these books? Someone else is going to own all of these one day. What the hell am I doing? But my collecting days have kind of almost ground to a halt. When we're out, we'll nip in a bookshop and have a look, and quite often I come away with nothing. But I'm happy to just take the rest of my life just picking a few others. I have a little list. If I find them, fine. If I don't, that's also fine. I'll pick up the banks as they come out on Folio, maybe some other things, but yeah, I'm just sort of enjoying what I've got right now, and I think it's the right decision to collect like this, for me anyway. So hopefully this will inspire people that write on our Discord that they've got 5,000 books and they're in the way, they don't know how to find their books, they've lost stuff, they don't know what they've got. Oh, it's in a box somewhere under the bed or in the loft. I don't see much point in that. Get your books out, enjoy them, look at them, take them off the shelf and play with them every now and again, because you don't get to see this when they're on the shelf. And read your nice ones. Not just because that's their purpose. I don't really care about that, but reading those nice folios, reading them if you're a physical reader, having them in your hand, it's nice to have the nice expensive ones. What is wrong with that dog? Margot, I was in the middle of a ramble there. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I don't think I'll ever do one again because this is the big one for this house. Maybe when we get the extension done or my office built and I build somewhere to put the paperback library, which is a couple of hundred books that are kind of interesting to look at. There's a lot of vintage stuff in there, but other than that, this won't change. This won't change too much. But I love it. I'm really happy with it, and sometimes I just like sitting and just staring at the spines and wondering, you know, where did it all go wrong?